Yo, what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Clear Mouse, how are you doing? I want to know right now. It's very important. All right. Well, my co-commentator is having some legal issues right now, but don't worry. We'll get this race started off while she gets that taken care of. But yeah, my name's Active Book. I'm joined by Clear Mouse. We have man, it looks like a lovely key sanity match here with Scottish Brave against PH. Man, I was looking very forward to this match too. Both of these runners are very good. Scottish Brave actually has a commanding lead in this group right now, being 2-0. But don't sleep on PH. He is 0-2 in this group, but if you were doing your homework, you would know that like this 0-2 could easily be a 2-0. Like both of his losses were very, very close. And, you know, race time doesn't count if it's a second, doesn't count if it's 2 hours, you know, it's going to say, you know, it's just a win or a loss.
Yes. Hello, Ak. I'm here with you. I've resolved all my legal issues.
Okay,
because,
good.
you know, I'm ready here in order to be able to see actually this pretty good match between Scottish Brave and PH. And yeah, you did mention Scottish Brave right now is up 2-0, both with their teammates or group mates in this case, Laggy and MM2. So Scottish Brave actually has a 2-0 lead in this group, hoping in this case to pull out a third match against PH. PH though, unfortunately, is at 0-2, so he's really looking for some revenge in the group. And you know what, Scottish Brave just might be an unfortunate occurrence in this case.
Mm-hmm. And they actually haven't played each other in the group yet, too. They have each played the other two people, you know, that they both have played. Scottish Brave was like, that's no big deal. I'll just go ahead and beat them. And then, you know,
That's
PH
right.
unfortunately came out with the the 2 losses.
We have actually a little bit of divergence. Kind of interesting. So PH seems to be taking, I would say, maybe more and more common route, basically just to skip out on the lumberjack check. Do you see a small key? It look like on the ledge.
How very ominous. In a key sanity seed, you have a small key there. It could be a small key to literally anything but Agate Tower. For two reasons.
That is actually true. Oh yeah, that's right. And so our awesome tracker structural Mike has already, you know, clicked some of the buttons behind the scenes, marked down the mode that we actually see here up on the screen. And right, key sanity typically means that every single small key is shuffled among the pool along with all the big keys and maps and compasses. For this specific tournament, however, the small keys of Castle Tower and the big key to GT are fixed within his dungeon. So, of course, logically speaking, we're never going to be able to see a small key on Castle Tower shuffled in the wild, but even more so on Lumberjack.
Yeah. I hope not, at least. And like, it could be the third key. Like, who knows?
Third key? So you're gonna have the fixed ones and also just a couple of wild cards. You know, they're like the blank tiles of Scrabbled, right? It's
exactly.
Just pick up anything you want. Yeah, I like that.
Yo, that'd be kind of a sick little inclusion to like key sanity mode.
Yeah,
just like one little wild card key, just to have a blast, you know?
Yeah.
No logic implications, just go.
I mean, well, you know, it's like you get like a 1,000-piece puzzle or something. You know, you always complain, right? Or it's like, what happens if you're missing a piece? You know, they'll just ship you a couple extra pieces so you can always finish the game.
Exactly. Very cat friendly of the puzzle corporations for sure.
All right. So Scottish Brave a little bit ahead of, let's see, going to blind sub because PH decided he needed a couple bombs because he unfortunately did not see the prize coming out of the bush crab. So Scottish Brave got a little bit of a head start. Already got our first sword actually here in Blind's hideout. So that's gonna be pretty cool in order to have a permanent weapon.
We also got a Ganon's Tower small key too. Like, what do you do if you're in this position of the runners? You got a sword, you got a Ganon's Tower small key. Do you just cheese it to GT right now?
Do you think we might be missing a couple of requirements in order to get into GT? I'm just curious.
I'm uncertain. Could you go over what those requirements? What are we missing right now for go mode?
Well, we actually technically don't know quite we need go mode just yet. Although you know we do have a Meyer Big.
Okay.
It's certainly one of those pesky big keys. We don't know if Meyer is a crystal pendant. But yeah, you know, I did hear that there are around 7 crystals that we do have to figure out what they actually are, and then once we get those crystals, it is, yes. But good thing, you know, we're here for a bit of time. And you know, we got probably a couple hours, you know, to spare for our
Hey, wait. I didn't sign up for this.
You know what? You're right. Let's hope in this case that the runners can find a little bit of extra movement. How about some boots, Ak? Would you really like for either of these people to have some boots?
I would love to see them get boots. I am a huge supporter of thumb physical health awareness. I would love for them to get boots so they don't have to be holding down their D-pad. And like the thing is too, when you're doing a race in a tournament setting like this, it's hard to not think that if you hold the D-pad down like harder, that you're not going to go faster.
Oh man, you are 100%
it doesn't
correct.
help, but like, I mean, it's not going to stop a lot of us from trying for sure.
You know, I'm also, you know, just wondering if people should just have like a little, you know, like ice bath, like, you know, like next to like a bowl or something next to your desk or something like that. You know, just every once in a while, you know, refresh yourself, right? And so we don't have to necessarily keep holding down directional buttons.
Yeah. You get about like what, a half-second dunk, you know, during transitions and chest opens. It's not so bad.
That's right.
Opening pod, dude, you got to just feel extremely rejuvenated. You know, you can just let that thing soak. Oh man.
All right, so you know, for certainly for these runners' sake, really hope that we can get some movement faster. You know, food also would be pretty cool. You know, we do get a little bit more access. You know, be able to travel the light world a bit.
Ice rod would be cool too.
Yes. Ice rod, chances are, is also going to help. Not the runners, but maybe it'll help you know, their gameplay a bit.
I see. Yes. You know, I do have a fun fact about Scottish Brave. I haven't told anybody this. I've been keeping it a secret the whole time.
Okay, I'm glad. Let's hear this. Let's hear this insider knowledge.
So this was one of my opponents in the last SpeedGaming Live I had to play. They actually beat Solsky, and then they played me in the next bracket round. I actually ghosted that seed that they had played prior, just to, you know, see how I would stack up against my future opponents. She crushed me.
Oh,
so I was
beyond
scared going into that match, and that's kind of another reason why I was really looking forward to this one. But don't tell her I said that, because I don't.
Okay, all right, okay, Scottish Brave, if you're listening, just rewind the tape and delete the last like 15 seconds of this. So then, you know, it's almost as if, you know, Ak never said anything to you.
No, we'll just get the SpeedGaming Live, you know, production crew to censor that part out in post.
All right. So, making our way to Mini Moldorm Cave, so we have to pick up a mushroom in the dam. Certainly, it's going to be, I don't know, maybe after this, both Redditors going to try and make it, you know, turn in that mushroom as a priority. Would also be, you know, pretty convenient and get a save and quit. I don't know if they're interested in safe scumming that mushroom. But having a sword, being able to, a sword and shield, so we have the whole Uncle Care package in Mini Moldorm Cave.
And the lamp.
And the lamp, you're right. This is officially, I guess, like the front of Escape now.
Ooh. And we are skipping Ice Rod Cave today, it looks like, on PH's side.
This is interesting.
It's a bold play and a key sanity seed, for sure. You know, you got to be thinking... A lot of these items that, you know, typically appear in dungeons, like, they're not always going to be in the dungeons anymore, so... Maybe it's more likely that, you know, there's something that you need in, you know, one-off locations like Ice Rod Cave. Maybe it's less likely, too, because you got, you know, more silly maps and compasses and small keys to Misery Mire. Like, who needs those? So...
I was even just thinking, I was like, what useless small keys could we potentially even find here in Ice Rod Cave? And, you know, well, maybe, you know, PH is taking his cue, you know, fighter shield, fighter sword, lamp. That pretty much, you know, he's like, you know, if the front of Escape items are all here, you know, it's like, what is going to actually be in the real front of Escape? Oh my gosh! The Scottish Brave making a pretty, you know, lit up play by continuing on to Ice Rod Cave.
No, that play was hot for sure.
And fighting that fire rod. Holy cow!
All right.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, so it's certainly, you know, PH has a lot of, you know, other opportunities to make his way over there. Most likely, it will be necessary. I mean, there are going to be some pretty, you know, extreme circumstances where fire rod is technically not required, but I mean, you're definitely going to want it.
Yeah. It is a great damage dealer, and then it is hard to imagine that we could be playing a seed where, like, you know, it's a key sanity seed with all the stuff going on, and then you don't need that fire rod. But it's not as bad as it may seem. You know, everybody, don't get all too doom and gloom yet on PH. Don't get it twisted. It could be really bad, but he does have the lamp, and that can
That's true.
stave off, lock some of those, fire locked items.
Yeah.
Early.
Yeah.
Nothing from the mushroom there. It looks like we were contemplating maybe a reset there, but we're just gonna save and quit.
Yeah, looks like it as well. I mean, and it is still pretty early, and it's not like we really even have much really else. In order to fake powder, we also still need a cave Samaria, and for us basically kind of like not find the powder at some point. And if you never find the powder, maybe it's just gonna be a waste of 30 seconds basically if you end up checking that anyway, right? Magic Bat is not gonna be a fast check to make, so it's certainly pretty reasonable.
And that play only plays off once, and that play paid off like what, freaking 3 years ago. So
yeah,
the ship has sailed. Yeah.
All right, looks like the Scottish Brave Fire Rod in hand. Gonna do something. It's following Peach for us a little bit. In this case, can also probably do the front of escape with that Fire Rod in hand and a little bit of extra magic here. We are going to be able to probably clear out the front of the escape just a little bit faster, right? You can see PH doing a nice job taking down the ball and chain guard, but, of course, one fire rod shot, right, means that, this guy's going to go down just a little bit faster.
Kind of. A little devil's advocate here. If Scottish Brave is in the same situation that he is, she's going to need to death warp as well. And so he didn't really lose that much time by not being able to kill that guard that fast because he was, taking the damage with the iframes and then getting a slash in, so it was economical, I would say.
And of course, thanks to the lamp that they both ended up finding in, the slightly displaced mini Moldorm cave front of escape type of items, or Link's House in this case, and we're gonna be able to see exactly, what Dark Cross has to offer. Now, it's like in a non-keys mode. Typically, runners don't really like to, I guess, want to do the Dark Cross just because, well, you could potentially even get, a map here to waste your time. But this is Key Sanity. All of everything is shuffled, so guaranteed to be some sort of well, it's guaranteed to be something. It doesn't always have to be useful.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a map to waste your time. It could just be 10 arrows to waste your time.
Yeah. But there's no mental damage here, Ak. The most important part, especially in the early game, is you don't want to accrue early mental damage. And
Ice Rod Cave!
He doesn't know it yet! Alright. Oh yeah, that's right. I think I also pointed out before, Scottish was confirming that we do have a hook shot, so that's going to be at least some amount of movement. You can see PH and Scottish Brave eventually going to try and hook onto things just to get themselves across some screens just a little bit faster.
Another small key there hanging out on the island there, so we just have all these small keys with no labels on them. We're not going to have any idea what they are. Well, what do we... Oh, we're going to Mushroom this way. Okay. Man, it's not every day you get to see this.
Yeah, this is a... it's definitely worth the travel, in this case. You did see in this case earlier, right, the Scottish Brave decided to take a minor glitch to her advantage. Basically fake flippering over and taking the portal over here to get to which is out just a little bit faster.
Yeah. Probably not that much faster, but I would say it is, like, yeah. It's definitely a time loss to walk all this way up.
Yeah, and unfortunately still, we did end up picking up 300 rupees in somewhere early on. Not quite enough money for Zora.
They were going in the ground like mushrooms.
Oh, thank you. Mushrooms are quite tasty. Oh,
and expensive.
Yes, that's true. It must be, it's a very big truffle.
All right.
Yeah, but we don't have enough money quite to pay off Zora. Although technically right now it is still not in logic, no flippers, no glove. Don't have to quite worry about it yet, but given the nature of kind of how things will turn up eventually, we are going to find a glove soon. Hopefully soon.
A glove? I mean, yeah, we could potentially find that glove, but I don't know, man. That cape kind of looks like a little pseudo glove as well.
Oh, shit. Man, so it's a cape is like a glove for a whole body. A glove is just a glove for one hand.
You're right. Typically, gloves don't make my hands disappear when I put them on, but
that's true. That's true.
But then again, neither do capes, so I don't know what kind of point I was getting at there. We have Vanilla green pendant today.
Looks like, speaking of, PH walked all the way over here, turning his mushroom, walking back down to the Eastern Palace. Scottish Brave looks like she is also just following suit.
It's really the
I'm
only things that they had left. I think they had Eastern Palace area, and then what? Saha?
Saha, they have Agina. I don't think that's been checked
That's what.
yet.
Yeah, I think I meant to say Agina instead of
Okay.
Saha. The other brother.
Yeah,
They look
they're
so
like they're
much alike.
brothers,
I
right?
keep getting them mixed
Exactly.
up. One tells you the green pendant location, and then the other one makes fart jokes. If you don't believe me, go talk to him
Something
someday.
about jazz hands in the desert and something like that. Yeah, but I think outside of that, right? I think no glove, no flippers means we can't actually go visit Sora. I mean, we can technically, it's not logic, and not like
Yeah.
we're rich enough in order to afford the upper crust life anyway. So
Yeah. They. It's basically a gated community they have over there. You gotta have
literally
you gotta have
speaking.
access. You gotta have money. It is the upper class. Top 1%ers only live over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, we need a couple more truffles, I think, in order to kind of even qualify at this point.
Right.
Okay,
Small
so
key to pod.
another pod key. Always nice to see. I think we also did find another pod key early. I want to say in Kakariko somewhere. I think
Okay.
Mike, has also been very diligently keeping up all of the keys, marking and everything else. So thank you.
So one pod key in Kakariko, one pod key in Eastern. I think we have 2 now. Is that right?
We do have two.
Okay.
Yes.
I was checking my math. Checking my math.
Math is very important. I really also hope that we find a couple more compasses, so we can count along with our runners whenever they end up, getting stuff in dungeons. Unfortunately, no Eastern Palace compass means we can't count along, so we're gonna have to, mentally do this. Oh my god!
Hey, there's a big key to Eastern.
Alright, there's a big key to Eastern Palace. Good, I very much wholeheartedly applaud both Scottish Brave and PH for coming into Eastern Palace without that big key. Vastly rewarded in this case.
Oh, there you go, and the flippers.
All right, yeah, we've got one admission ticket into the Zora area. Now all we need is the cover fee.
Yeah. Still gotta have that deposit or proof of income before we can purchase a nice lakeside house. All right. Most likely those flippers are going to be a required item, though technically not. Ooh, hey, check this out. Scottish Brave really does want that lakeside house. They're actually gonna come over here to the rupee farm.
This is actually pretty. It's a good game knowledge. A reminder that I think it's 90 rupees or something like that here. Very good. Yeah, there's the flute. I think Sasha is gonna go back. Looks like so she's definitely not gonna miss out. But the fact that she remembers that there are 90 rupees here in Eastern, I think she is, especially with the flippers pickup, she's really kind of keen on trying to get over that 500 rupee limit.
Yeah, the acquisition of the flippers doing a hula hand would be a lot more difficult, maybe nigh impossible. I can't keep track of how the many ways to do that these days, but definitely a great heads-up play there to...
Yeah, I'm actually even trying to think of, what if we can't... So, like, we don't have gloves, so we can't really do, like, the easy back of escape. Can you do hula hand without boots? In this case?
You know what? Honestly, if I was put in the situation and they said, here's your items, go hula hand, I don't think I would be able to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm also just trying to think, like, what other options we have for money at this point.
You can go and do blindside over and over and over again.
Oh man, so we were talking about we only have like 2.5 hours for this seed. We might need to extend that time period by an hour or so longer if we're going to farm one rupee at a time. But I think that's pretty hilarious.
Nah, we're good now. We got a flute. Look at this, zipping around. Boom, we're on a mountain. All it took was one button.
That's right. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. And of course, with the lamp, we are going to be able to logically and see rescue the old man. So that's going to be one additional item. No hook. No mirror. Means we can't necessarily get up to Hera at this moment, but we do have that really nice hook shot. So we're going to be able to get a little bit more mountain access in this case.
Man, we were talking about like glove and cape and all that stuff too. To go to the dark world. That's not even the gist of it, man. What about that moon pearl? We gotta need that too, don't we?
Yeah, that's you think that's worth more money than a 300 rupee truffle? It does look pretty shiny, right?
It depends. It depends whether or not that moon pearl's on Zora. I
reserve to answer that question.
Really good point.
Oh man, that is actually gonna be the most expensive moon pearl I think I've ever seen in my life.
It is shiny though. It is shiny. Also, I think this will work out kind of nice for We're actually farming 1
Yeah,
rupees
we
there.
are
Hey,
literally farming the last 2 rupees we need from the bushes. It looks like Scottish Brave. She is really gonna chase down these flippers and be able to, in this case, well, we're gonna go see what 500 rupees is actually gonna buy us today.
Good game knowledge there too.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never thought to been like, I know that rupees drop there all the time, but I never really considered that like it was fixed. What was I gonna say? Oh, so the fire rod, this looming fire rod that Scottish Brave has that PH does not, it is on Ice Rod Cave. And then some people elect to maybe put off Ice Rod Cave until they have a better mobility item, say, you know, boots, say like flute, because they can get over there a little bit quicker. He has a flute now, so him holding off on that might actually save him just a pinch of time.
Yes, right, and that's also, oh man, and not like the Master Sword is gonna, you know, be able to get us over to Ice Rock Cave any faster, but that's certainly gonna be a pretty nice find. A little bit more defense, of course. You're gonna be able to kind of, especially if we have beams, you can go kill the crabs, which I believe have been labeled, you know, MVPs of that area. So, you know, always good to have a little bit more power to your name.
I most certainly had a non-family friendly word for them, but MVP, yeah, sure, whatever. Hey, there's a hammer.
There is a hammer, you know, and in PH actually, you know, stumbling upon a little bit of a treasure trove of his own. He also is 100 and some change rupees richer. He is also going to, you know, kind of inch his way up into the 500 rupee realm.
Yeah, but he didn't get that 90 rupees from you know, the money farm in Eastern Palace, and what it looks like so far is that like that money is, unless it's here in Spiral Cave, it's not going to show up from, you know, the water checks, because Scottish Brave didn't get any extra money.
Yeah, she did get a really nice hammer, though. Slightly, you know, not quite the prize that Zora sometimes spits out for us. Never gonna turn down. Looks like, though, yeah, just 50 rupees today. But you know, the fact that we have a hammer there is pretty dang nice.
All right. So. Okay, so this is okay. There's the Moon Pearl there in Spiral Cave. So he does have his, I guess, technical Darkhold access if he wants to take it. So Scottish Brave getting the hammer, coming over here before Death Mountain, this will also put Hera on the table for her, whereas this wasn't an option for PH.
Yeah, that is actually a really good point. And so right now, you mentioned that we have access to Hera. It is unfortunately the long way access. You know, we have a mirror, right? You could basically just mirror right on top of Spectacle Rock and then just enter Hera, like, you know, very easy. However, if that mirror doesn't show up, especially early, it is going to be quite the trek for PH in order to get all the way and make another full loop, basically, on the map to get back to Hera.
I will say, though, that, like, you know, long way considered, if there is, say, like, a glove hanging out in Hera, or even, like, even better, like a sequence broken glove, just to get even more crazy, oh, man, that's gonna work out so well for Scottish Brave.
Oh, yeah.
Until the Swamp Palace Small Key is on Lumberjack, and then, and then all of a sudden, everything spins on its side. But yeah, the keys in Castle Tower will be vanilla, and the Ganon's Tower Big Key is going to be firmly nested in Ganon's Tower as well. That's only for the Key Sanity variant of this tournament, the inverted Key Sanity. There's no rules on that one. The keys can be anywhere. We just went full crazy.
Just slightly different variations, you know, of, you know, the different modes, just for a little bit of variety, right?
Basically, you know, rule of thumb, if you see it's inverted, the items can be anywhere, just call it a day.
So just like I'm just gonna play any other inverted seed, got it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but this Moonfight PH though is I don't know, would you consider this to be aggressive? Basically, you know, rushing Aga's Tower like right now without having checked, you know, like his flipper checks or Gina for that matter?
I don't know. I think this is a, I don't know, man, I say it's a medium play. I can see both sides of it.
Yeah, and you know, I also don't really have too much of a sense, you know, whether or not, you know, like, is, you know, if you think it's an Aga Siege, you just go immediately for it, you know, if it's a bit different in Key Sanity versus, you know, non-keys. But certainly, you know, very interesting to see kind of the decisions in this case that PH and ScottishBrave would make here.
Yeah. He would need to find, you know, 2 gloves and a hammer, or you know, a variant of those 2 items with, you know, what, Agina, Ice Rod Cave, the 2 checks in the Waterfall Hobo, and then Zora in the Zora Ledge. But then you can't get Zora. I don't know. I think not having Zora money that makes this make sense.
Yeah, and certainly, you know, from what we've kind of seen so far in ScottishBrave's side, not like we haven't found either glove yet so far. We do have a hammer. We are, and I guess, you know, according to PH, at least from his side, you know, he doesn't think Hera in this case is accessible. So we're also going to be able to see it. You mentioned this earlier. If ScottishBrave can find something over here in Hera, certainly could be, you know, quite the bounty for her.
Hey, by the way,
what's up, Doc?
Mike is talking about, you know, what's in Logic and what's not in Logic, and I was like, man, we got Dark World access. I just remembered where that hookshot was. That hookshot was actually the second chest in Hyrule. And that is behind a Hyrule Castle small key.
You are absolutely correct. And so speaking of a out of sequence progression item, that glove currently is locked behind that hookshot.
We're not even gonna hammer. Well, that is going to be great for them as they're going to get their Dark World access. But yeah, because that hookshot is not in Logic. There could still be like a major item, like there could be another glove or something like that. I mean, I guess Mirror is probably a really likely one too, hanging out over in Agina.
Yeah, right. So we have, the only, I think, outstanding check that we haven't seen right now in Light World on both runner sides is right now Agina's, right? Agina can have a mirror, Agina can actually have the Hyrule Castle small key, right?
Right.
In which case, all of this would just be put back in Logic.
But, I mean, that's a wide variety of, you know.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you got something like bow or like, I mean, that would just be so telling.
That's true, actually. Yeah, we can get a bow. You know, we did find the Eastern Palace big key within Eastern Palace, and so, you know, if you went to Agina early and found the bow, you could have actually full cleared Eastern Palace. Armos could have something. Like, yeah, there's quite the number of options that are available to us.
But here we go. We have one person doing Aga to get to the Dark World. The other one found a way to skip out on that. Didn't have to do it. But we have a small key hanging out on the Lumberjack. So, like, Lord knows what the actual correct play is going to be here.
Now, of course, in order to get that small key, we are still going to need some boots at some point. Nothing here in the back of Escape, but PH did pick up a Desert Palace big key. Given that, I think, you know, also according to, you know, our awesome tracker, Eastern Palace and Hera are already pendants, the chances of us needing that Desert Palace big key is quite high in this case, because there's only one more pendant outstanding.
Yeah, but it's obviously in the Light World. Duh.
You're right, Ak. How could I forget where all my pendants are in the game?
Oh man, well, I'm excited to see how this shakes out.
Oh yeah, right. So currently, you know, both runners are here in the Dark World, having gotten here in as about a different ways as you could possibly imagine. So ScottishBrave taking what is currently what we think is out of sequence Dark World access with a hookshot, hammer, glove, and pearl, and PH killed Aga.
Little timely big key to pod there in case you wanted to go over. There's also a Ganon area, Turtle Rock Small, Ganon Tower Small.
Yeah, second GT small is certainly going to be nice to see. So we do know that the GT big key is somewhere in Ganon's Tower. This is maybe something that is something, you know, maybe a little bit more underrated, but, you know, in order to traverse the rest of GT basement, you know, to look for it, you are gonna need you know, at least probably one or two GT small keys to your name in order to be able to, you know, focus the entire place.
Also, since we did get that second Ganon's Tower small key, can we just go to GT now?
Yeah, we need a couple more shinier things, and that's, you know, so the Moon Pearl was a really good start. It is quite shiny. We are going to need a couple more shinier things, though, and a lot of them. So I hope you have money. We might
Perhaps.
need to spend some more.
Are you referring to these crystals that were the 5-6 over at Pod and Misery Mire, and then we also had a crystal at Turtle Rock and a crystal at Ice? Are those
Oh
the ones
wow,
you're talking about?
those are yes, and you know what? I might also want to walk one of my previous statements back because I'm not sure if those crystals are even on sale. Like, one, I don't even know any dealers, but also two, I don't know if it's like black market stuff where you kind of have to do some more shadier dealings in order to get those crystals.
Oh well, this just in. Clearmouse has stated on the record that A Link to the Past Randomizer is a pay-to-win game.
Well, you're not necessarily wrong. We just don't know what we're paying with.
Okay, that's fair. You know what? I accept. Sometimes you have to spend your time to learn things.
Yeah.
Like movement and hovering.
I'm still waiting for Bootsack. It's almost at the 30-minute mark. PH has explored the front of Skull Woods for as much as he can, I think, without a Skull Woods smoking, and he has found nothing of note. Scottish Brave here is in South Dark World, also have found not much outside of Hype Cave. Where are the Bootsack? I'm still waiting.
I mean,
do they need a break right now on their thumbs?
Yeah. We should do that, honestly. Like, every half hour that the runners are forced without the boots, they're allowed to pause. Unless you have the boots, then you don't have to pause.
Okay.
And then, oh my god.
We'll pitch this to the admins and see how it goes.
A nice mid-tournament rule change. Like, honestly, everybody loves them.
Oh, alright, so forget Agina, potentially having the mirror. PH just found this in chess game. Alright, so that actually kind of eliminates one possibility for how we could end up getting to Hera in this case.
Yeah, boy, that's a very interesting mirror there. So,
it
what are you
is.
thinking? Are you thinking... Okay, so let's think about this. The mirror would have gotten us to Hera, it would have gotten us a glove. What if there's just a glove at Agina? What if there's just a Hyrule Castle?
Oh my gosh.
What if it's a glove?
Can you imagine there was a glove in Agina? Oh my man.
Cool. It's gonna...
That is actually quite powerful, and because, the glove, in this case, would actually get us our normal Darkmoon access. The flippers, which lock the hammer, because the hammer was in Waterfall Fairy, was not logically locked by that hook shot, so that... Man, what the heck is an Agina at this point?
Yeah, that would, is definitely... We're definitely setting up, accruing some, high levels of mental damage, knowing that, say, you could potentially have... hammer, fire rod, and 2 sets of gloves before you even went into the Dark World from PH's side. Boy, that's a lot of items.
Alright, so PH looks like he picked up another pod key. No big key to Thieves Town, because, all the big keys are shuffled. Means that we can't even go further, but luckily, we just picked up that mirror from Chess Game, so no more painful death warping at this point for either of them. 8 hearts, blue mail, is going to be quite tedious to get out of dungeons.
By the way, I was wrong. It couldn't be a glove. Could have been because of the hook shot. So that was completely my mistake. I am beyond puzzled and confused. I think I need at least 3 more cups of coffee. But yeah, there's a lot of logical implications going on right now. So yeah, it seems very likely that it's just the Hyrule Castle small key at this point. Or something leading up to it.
Oh yeah, right. So I think Incoherent pointing out that Pearl was in Spire Cave, so that's hookshot locked right now.
Yeah. Especially with the mirror being in that Dark World. Okay. All right.
But right now, between our 2 runners, we have exactly 1 glove right now, and it's even broken. And they're both in Dark World on very different paths in here. I certainly, would hope at this point that the sum total of gloves for our runners would be 2 or more. But it hasn't quite happened yet.
Oh man, sorry. I'm caught up in the chat because I'm trying to, piece together this logic as well. But yeah, they said something about boots being at Agina, but we had that other sword also on East Death Mountain. But that would be hilarious if it was like, boots, and then you go do Agate Tower, and then you can do Lumberjack and get your Hyrule Castle small key. But unfortunately, that doesn't work either because we didn't have access there yet.
So PH here, I think he's potentially thinking, Azora might just be weighing more and more on his mind. We are here in a not so commonly seen Arrow game, trying to farm up a little bit of extra money. well, non-inverted in this case, or non-cross keys even.
It looks like not even just Zora was on his mind, but also
oh yeah, maybe Pod as well.
Yeah.
Alright, this mirror is going to work out though pretty nicely for routing. Yeah, we are going to be able to get K45 in addition to basically the rest of the South Dark World for PH, which is well, just based on the nature of what Scottish Brave did. But because she ended up coming north to south, or sorry, south to north. Sorry, not probably gonna be able to get this quite yet.
It's okay. I'm watching the screen, standing on my head, so everything you said makes sense.
Alright. Oh, unfortunately, that was an unfortunate mirror bonk. It didn't even look like it would mirror bonk, but I guess PH was maybe just a little bit too close to that right boulder.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, so orphan location for her, like what you're saying. It is just a heart container, which, I mean, is not necessarily the worst thing to get, but more so that is now a mental damage location, I would say. But, I mean, she might go and check something like Graveyard Ledge instead, and make this routing a little bit different, and that's kind of, well, I guess not necessarily orphan for PH. He could do this on his way up as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see in this case. So PH most likely will end his Dark World path right here, just because, well, he did Aga, and so he's already checked the pyramid in this case. So kind of curious to see in this case where he would like to go to next.
Yeah, maybe he'll go get that small key too that's hanging out on the ledge. Now would be the best time to go get it, the one that's like sitting on the island.
Yeah, that's a really excellent reminder. We did see a small key of mystery on Lake Hylia Island. This is, you are exactly correct. No hammer, especially for PH, because that is Flipper's locked. Means that he's probably going to be able to combo this with the rest of the Flipper stuff. Scottish Brave, are you watching this, Axe? So Scottish Brave with that fire rod that she got in Ice Rock Cave. PH couldn't do any of this stuff. She's just Russian Moth.
Fire rod she got in Ice Rock Cave. Something about that sentence I just don't like. But, no, yeah, this will be new checks on her side, and then if this is a pendant, we will know exactly what all the crystals are, and if this is a crystal, we will know exactly what one more of the crystals is.
What more of the crystals are? Alright, so speaking of, there's just a small key to Skull Woods. So, at least, right, based on Scottish Brave's side, we did see a nice C on the upper left-hand corner, so this is going to be a crystal, but which means that, logically speaking, all three small keys are going to show
on the map. All these new things. I'm a random winner, man.
It's all these like new features that the randomizer has.
It's a good point. I missed the excitement, like opening up a present on Christmas Day,
That's true.
And it was
that is true.
always a dang pendant.
You hope at least even a green pendant too, right? At least you get something for your trouble, but...
Oh yeah, I go trade in my coal for more coal.
Now, unfortunately, for, Scottish Brave and PH, we don't actually quite have the book yet, so at least we're not going to be able to check what is on the pedestal. Going to be a very convenient time, but you know what? Scottish Brave, very handsomely getting rewarded here with that Tempered Sword. If only she had that maybe like 30 seconds ago when she was fighting.
Yeah, that's still a really good mod fight.
Oh yeah, oh no, for sure. Like she handled it quite well. But you're never gonna turn down a Tempered Sword versus a Master Sword fight, right?
All right. So PH is going to head over here to Pod. Will not be getting his hammer before he goes in, but I mean we got 3 small keys. We don't have a bow. I don't necessarily know if that's going to really change how we're going to approach this dungeon, but like there's another small key in here and a bow, like you would be setting up an extra dip of it.
Yeah, I mean, and at this point, I don't think anyone's gonna be surprised to find 1 or maybe even 2 pod small keys in pod. Seems, I don't know, it's not necessarily common, but it certainly would not be surprising. You brought up a good point though, Ak, the fact that PH still does not have the hammer from Waterfall Fairy, so the routing is going to be a little bit different, just maneuvering wise. At least he's got the mirror. That's going to be a huge help in order to get around pod.
He also has a bombo, so it's not going to help him get through pod, but he's got it.
Bombos this is quite interesting. You know, so okay, one, we don't know our medallion entries into Turtle Rock or Meyer certainly could be required, but also that Bombos has ice palace implications.
It does enable him to potentially like not find that fire rod for even longer. There's a glove there in pod.
Yes.
Okay.
So we finally have so one. I think we asked earlier. So we have one glove on Scottish Brave side, one glove on PH's side. So is that two gloves total?
That's two.
Together? Okay.
Hold on. let me get a fact check.
Here. That is
collective miss.
Oh, hey, look.
Oh, and there's a small key.
There's a small key to pod in pod. Are we surprised?
If we find a bow in here, like, let's just tell you where all the items are. Okay, and boots are going to be in this chest, the next chest.
Oh, so close. We do have a Desert Palace compass. We can count along. Oh, man. Oh.
It was red. It was red, too.
We're getting closer. We're getting warmer pH.
He did get bombos, but no fire rod, so I don't know if that counts as getting warmer.
Alright, well, fourth pod small key certainly could be very nice. Actually, so I guess this is where potentially mimic clipping is going to pay off if you can do it. This PH looks like he can set up the hammer yum from the north.
Did not
really nice.
Yeah, great job, and did not reset his console while he did it. So that might be a little too soon, but he did not reset his console while he did that hammer yum.
You're not wrong, Ak. I would also like to point out that what PH actually did, setting up the hammer yum, is succeeding. Oh, that's Ice Palace big key, always good to have before. I was gonna say though, if you end up falling and are not succeeding on the hammer yum from this north, you are actually having to get a little bit more punished, just because you have to reset the whole super tile, which means going all the way to the basement and back.
Oh yeah, you gotta go all the way back and down the stairs.
Right, yeah. Versus some runners, just to not take that chance, basically just go and go through the south door and then go back up. So then, if you do fail, you don't have to basically backtrack as much.
Yeah. But he did not. He did it very well.
Yeah, no, he did it very well.
And then the ultimate fail is not failing the hammer yump itself and having to reset the going through the stairs. It's resetting your console and having to do the whole entire dungeon again. That's the worst case scenario.
Yes, you know what? I wholeheartedly agree with you. I really hope in this case that nobody else has to experience that. At least one person basically doing it is probably enough for the community.
I think so. Yeah. Thank you for doing that for all of us.
Alright, so it looks like the Scottish Brave, no real interest right now in dipping pod. Maybe she's kind of trying to hold out for that. Maybe she's holding out for that bow. That's just. At Catfish? Holy cow, what a route! That is amazing.
It's gonna work out very nice for her. Getting 4 small, you'll get the extra small key too. Man, like...
Yeah, this routing worked out super well for Scottish Brave. We're seeing here PH, we were just talking about if mimic clipping is going to basically, kind of give him at least some equal footing in order to get these two chests on the Bullock side. Looks like he's doing a buffer list.
He's actually doing it pretty well. I can see this mimic moving. He didn't reset.
Wow.
So yeah, that was pretty good.
That was really PH. This is top 128, guys. Like, very, very impressive, just in terms of both technique and execution. Yeah, PH is, despite him in this case, kind of being a couple of major progression items, in this case, behind Scottish Brave, he is really not giving up any disadvantage. Or saying, no, he's not giving up any advantage, right? Scottish Brave's gonna have a bow. Sorry. In this case, at least he's going to be able to get, like, more items, I guess, out of pod.
As he is leaving pod, I would say that he's giving up a pretty sizable time deficit there, because Scottish Brave will most likely be able to do this entire dungeon, long as she spends her keys appropriately. We'll be skipping, I assume she'll have to skip one of the chests if she's going to open the middle door. So whether it be the front or the back, do we see both of them from him?
I'd want to say we only saw Vanilla Big Key chest. We did not see Harmless Hellway.
So he still has 1 key left?
Oh, it does.
Because he would have had 4, so he could have done both and then just, hedge your bet that you find a small key. But maybe he does. I didn't pay enough attention, unfortunately. But there's mitts from Scottish Brave.
Yeah, so that's right. So that's full. Well, every single, or sorry, even the more convenient Dark World portal that's going to be readily available for her.
Okay, so hear me out.
Okay,
Mental
I'm listening.
damage, PH, he's going to go
Oh,
over
oh
here to
yeah.
Catfish, he's going to get his bow, and then he's going to mirror, and then he's going to go check Waterfall and get his hammer, and then just be like, do you know where I just was? Game? I was just in pod! Oh man,
No,
that's...
okay, so I guess like after you get, you know, bow and hammer, and then, you know, waste your time on Zora, are you just going straight back to pod?
If you have a small key, if you don't have a small key, probably not. I don't know if he has one still. I would probably wait until I got another one, truth be told. But yeah, he's if he doesn't have the key, if he spent both of them, then he can't go to Helmasaur.
Yeah, I want to say that he doesn't have. Oh, sorry, he does have a small key left.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you would go back necessarily immediately. It is a 5-6, but maybe you would want to wait until you got that extra key, just so you could grab both items for, you know, peace of mind. I don't know though.
Yeah, and I guess like so another question for you, Ak, is okay. Even on, you know, for Scottish Brave as well. So they in this case just they both acquire the bow. Would you be at all tempted at Green Pendant Eastern Palace?
Well, I don't know, man. I could see the temptation there for certain. I guess the fact that she's getting mitts may be a little bit of a deterrent to chase, you know, a very long 2 items, given that you have all of the Death Mountain in the Dark World, you got the Smith sequence, man, we can go into Ice Palace too if we want. She'll actually be able to full clear Ice Palace, I think, because the Ice Palace big with you, right?
But yeah, no, that's also a good point. You know, the fact that she does have mitts and flippers, and well, in this case, she has a fire rod, so make her life a little bit faster versus bombos. But yeah, that is yeah. She's got the hook shot, she's got the hammer. Ice Palace is looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Although she
Even
doesn't have the big
sword
key
as well.
yet. I mean, but I don't think that usually
The big
is
key's
much
here
of a
though,
deterrent.
right?
Oh, I guess did she just go straight to the back to Helmasaur? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So she'll beat Helmasaur. I think at this point she most likely is, you know, confident enough it's going to be a crystal, and then basically clear out the rest of the pod.
I most certainly think that, you know, I mean, she doesn't know this. This is obviously just from our perspective, being able to see both runners. I think going to the green pendant right now couldn't hurt. Like, it would be a little bit of a safety net to, you know, maybe not drag an item forever, but, you know, she doesn't know that.
I would have to imagine that you're probably feeling pretty good just because, you know, you took the long trek to Catfish and then you found the boat, right? And so like you could have basically just not done that, and then now she knows that she doesn't have this double dip pod. I don't know though. I mean, you know, this is also a pretty, you know, heated tournament race, so who knows what's kind of going on to these runners' heads.
Oh, PH here, man.
Yeah.
Laughing at his volume of like really big items and very few amount of checks.
Oh yeah,
as of lately,
that's true.
he's gotten so many. Nice little hairpot there. And this will be new stuff. We have not seen this from Scottish Brave side.
That is true.
Yeah, she got the glove and left.
Yeah, I mean, a glove at that point, you know, especially for Scottish Brave, that basically was her Dark World access, and so, and you know, we don't have in this case the Hera big key, so technically, you know, getting up here is still considered out of logic. But you know, presumably, you know, PH at this point though, having found a bunch of stuff, you know, made his trip all the way up here, certainly very reasonable for him to finish up the dungeon.
It's just a pendant though. He actually knows that too. Yeah, he did do a map check, and then our tracker caught it as well, so. But it could be the pendant.
It could. We still don't know what's on pedestal. Trying to take down Moldorm with some sword spins. Unfortunately, does not look like he's cooperating.
Yeah.
Get knocked off.
Squirming in that little tight corridors there. But he came out into the open, he got destroyed. That's what you get, you dumb worms.
Yeah.
And just a heart container. So,
yeah, good thing. I was gonna say, good thing they got that mirror, right? I mean, you're actually looking at, you know, our runners like safety. You know, they got blue mail. They got 11 hearts right now at this point. Like, you know, they're really not hurting for health here.
Yeah, but definitely don't want to be death warping in this position for sure. Oh man, this will be kind of an interesting Death Mountain for PH. You got 2 Turtle Rock small keys. Do you go and just peek your head in there at this point? I mean, depending on what you get. We know he's not going to get a fire rod, so those chests over there are going to be inaccessible. Two small keys can get you pretty far in this dungeon, though. You can go all the way to Mimic Cave if you want.
Oh yeah, that is certainly true. And we do have the mirror in order to actually access Mimic Cave, so that could be something that's pretty tempting. I think PH is gonna maybe hope in this case. So okay, so what happens if you find a Turtle Rock Big Key? Would that motivate you further to keep going?
I mean, you might as well at that point. It depends, because I don't know how you route this with two small keys. If you're gonna go ahead and go zany and open that lava chest, because if you do that, then you can't go to Laser Bridge because you'll be out of keys. But if you skip it, then you find a TR Big Key, then you can go back in. But man,
Yeah, right. I mean, so like the fact that you have, if you do find the Turtle Rock Big Key, I'm just wondering, like, was at that point you would hold off, hopefully, to find another Turtle Rock small key before going in, so you could just, you know, hopefully just clear out the dungeon in one dip. I don't know.
You know, in his situation, maybe he like would not care if he opened the middle chest, because we know that we have a silly like hanging small key there on the lumberjack, and we can go get that now because we have the booth.
Oh, PH. You know what? Whether or not whatever decision was right or wrong, PH made the one that gets you the boots, which always in my book is the correct one.
All right.
Good job, PH. We beat the hour mark on your side. Very, very proud of you for this.
He's probably still got a little ice in his thumb bath. Like, not much, but just a little.
You know, all the more good reason to maybe take a visit now over to Ice Rod Cave, PH, so we can go get that fire rod of yours.
Oh yeah, we still definitely are going to need that. And really, what we're not noticing too, just subtle little like lead, you know, disparities or like time saves, is the fact that that fire rod also locked Temper Sword, which Scottish Brave basically had for like all the. We'll have for all the good fights. That could maybe elude PH a little bit longer if he doesn't, you know, go get that said fire rod. And then we're not going into Turtle Rock at all. We just opened it, but he does have boots, so we are going fast.
Yeah, looks like he hesitated a little bit. You know, maybe just considering his options. You know, we got boots, we got, you know, basically the rest of the Dark World open. You know, we found silvers here in Desert. Going to take a little bit of an edge off, at least for PH, just in terms of offense. You know, for example, well, I mean, they always have fire rod too, but silvers are going to make, like, you know, Vitreous, for example, a little bit nicer. Doesn't have to depend on that Temper Sword.
So, man, going back to our big giant, you know, logic hole that we have not tied off, it has to be a small key to Castle Tower, right?
Or something that leads to that, right? Like,
right,
we
right.
haven't seen Sick Kid, we haven't seen Magic Bat. Yeah, we haven't seen Magic Bat.
It could be Shovel, it could be Patter, I suppose. But
yeah.
I mean, I guess it could be Book. I don't know if we saw it here in Desert, but it's got to be that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Book it can help us here for logic.
Well, they could if they went into Desert and then got, you know,
right,
that we didn't see.
You.
I don't remember if the key was in there or not.
Yeah, so I guess I assume at some point soon ScottishBrave44 PH is going to give us some key to check. I mean, they're both here in Desert. They might go into Mire actually. It was Ether, so they do have access. They do have the Mire Big Key. They know it's a crystal. I think they know it's a crystal, or maybe I just made that up. But that is certainly gonna be something pretty tempting.
Yeah, I think that maybe that's one of our missing ones. I don't know. I trust the tracker on this one.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I've been paying no attention.
Hey, look, a bottle.
Oh yeah, that's our first bottle. Nice.
Yeah, and this mode, you know, the only mode that kind of restricts the item pool is going to be tournament hard. Everything else, you know, we're gonna have all of our quality of life upgrades. And we see we got half magic already. We're gonna be able to hold on to more than one bottle in this case. We have silvers.
Actually, was Mire at 5.6? I almost think it was too. I can't remember now.
Pod and
I thought it was, maybe
Turtle Rock.
No, I think it was Podmire actually.
Okay.
I think that sounds right. I don't know. We'll see. If we're wrong, dude, we're just like, I don't know. Mike's tracking for us today, right? He's just over here pounding the buttons. Why do they keep saying it if they don't know?
Alright, nothing worth picking up in Checkerboard Cave. Alright, okay, so Scottish Brave gonna be the first between herself and PH. Finally going to be able to put everything that we found here in Logic. What is it gonna be?
No, don't open it. We'll run out of things to talk about. Talk to this guy. He says a fart joke.
We already, we still have lots of content about complaining that Scottish Brave doesn't have boots yet. Hey!
We did it.
All
We
right,
figured it out.
That's right. Alright, so finally, yes. Alright, that's Hyrule Castle Small Key meant that we were supposed to come here first and put the back of Escape, the front of Escape, the Boomerang Chest and Zelda Cell in Logic, and so therefore that was where the hookshot was, and so everything on Death Mountain was accessible.
Alright, so now that we've,
so
closed everything off, now we can start looking towards the future. Well, what do we do now?
Well, we're still gonna have to find a couple items, I think, to our name. As a Scottish Brave, I would really like for her to go up to Dark Death Mountain at some point.
That's exactly what I was thinking, yes.
Go get your
boots.
In terms of, rod parity, Scottish Brave does already have the fire rod, which she picked up from Ice Rock Cave. PH has not gone over there. We are still looking for the actual ice rod. It's pretty one of those elusive items that I think many a runner would really like to find soon.
And it's not in Ice Rod Cave, it is in the Fire Rod Cave.
Where's the Fire Rod Cave? Do you know?
Well, if we find it, we'd have an ice rod.
Okay, alright, okay. We're just gonna note that later. Oh, hey, PH and Scottish Brave making the play to go into Mire.
Kind of a gross mire. I mean, we have the big key. We can, full clear the entire dungeon, but we had no small keys, and it makes you kind of route a little back and forth when you don't have those.
Yeah, and it's also like it's actually. So, do you route this dungeon different if it's key sanity versus like not key sanity?
I mean, if you have a small key, yeah, you can go immediately over to like the left side and open that door and not have to worry about it. By the way, here's the Fire Rod Cave.
Oh, so this is the Fire Rod Cave. It does make sense. It was pretty buried underground, and so we did have to like open it up, and then we can go in.
Okay. All right. Well, boy, that's some interesting implications for what Go Mode could possibly be now. So we could be missing just a Turtle Rock Big Key. Either, the Thieves Town Big Key or the Swamp Palace Big Key, which is actually small, but, it pretends like it's a big key. And then one Turtle Rock small key, and then we would technically be good? Am I missing something?
Yeah,
and we need to know which one it is, too. Like, we don't know it with Swamp or Thieves.
Yeah, the knowledge, I think, would be probably pretty important, and you would really like to be able to find one of those maps, or something that'd be able to tell you, in this case, like, which one is the pendant versus crystal.
Nah, that's fine. As long as we have these compasses that show how many chests we've opened in the dungeon.
I'm pretty happy to see these, right? I mean, especially even from, a runner's, from a player's perspective, right? It'll basically at least tell you that you've gotten everything.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, peace of mind, mental damage. These are important things, man.
Yeah, so speaking of, though, I mean, PH, again, that Fire Rod right now isn't slowing him down because he has the boots. So yeah, he's also got a lamp, in order to light these torches.
It's not every day you're going to see a randomizer seat where you have both runners in this exact same room that are forced to do it different ways.
It looks like the PH is going to take a little bit of divergence. Not going to look at the vanilla big key chest quite yet, though.
I think it's fine. He can go do it and then just go, like, directly to the boss afterwards, I suppose. I don't know.
Is he going to death warp to the boss, do you think? He does have to be a little careful, please.
We'll certainly probably not want to keep running into enemies.
He is on blue mail, so it takes a little bit of an edge off, but fireballs still do 1 heart regardless, and I think every enemy here in Mire pretty much just does, like, 4 or 3 hearts of damage, and the Bari, I guess, can survive.
I believe that little bomb snail probably would have killed him in 1 hit.
Yes, right, that bomb slug, I think, on green mail does 4 hearts, blue mail does 3, so he is more often than not in 1-hit KO mode.
And speak of the devil with, fire sources making things take longer, he has to go the full mile here and push every single one of these silly little blocks in order to light these torches.
Yeah, we did see on Scottish Brave's side, she was just rewarded with 3 bombs, which I think they're looking at our bomb packs. We can't even carry them, so...
Right.
But at least, again, peace of mind, right? You're gonna get
pay to win game, I forgot. Yeah, it's being able to... You have to buy the capacities, spending your hard-earned rupees.
Hey, Hey, speaking of it, we got a fire shield. That could be something pretty useful. Maybe we'll go find blinds, and we're gonna be able to deflect off some of those fireballs.
Maybe we will never find blind because he's going to be the last pendant. That's what I think's going to happen.
It also could be that as well. We are going to see. All right, so Scottish Brave. Oh, and again, very convenient compasses here, telling us that the only item remaining is going to be on the boss. Randomizer, though, yeah, without the small game, you see basically, you know, like both Scottish Brave and PH kind of having to, you know, take some detours and trying to get rid of some of the runes.
And man, the fights are going to be like drastically different too. Well, I guess we have silvers. I take it back. He can just shoot arrows and one-shot everything. But I mean, don't die. I mean, this red shield actually is pretty nice right about this time with the amount of health.
Actually, that's a great point. No, that's an excellent point. We got like fire shooters out the wazoo. Not quite the Kate Samaria. Thank you, Quick Swap. But actually, so this also made a change. I don't know if I saw dust on her side when she saw the fire rod. I hope she still has Spooky.
Let's find out.
Yeah, but that's going to be potentially another difference here between, you know, Scottish Brave and PH. Without the fire rod, the PH is going to have to... But we're going to get some extra content on his side.
Nice boot with Spooky there. That's pretty slick.
No, that's the fire rod. That's not the ice rod.
I just assumed that we have, you know, boots whenever we play this game, so I never bothered to learn.
Well, one of them has boots. Scottish Brave will join the party because it is quite a nice club. You don't even need like, you know, access or money to get it. You just kind of, you know, need to open up one chest. That's it.
That's true. Well, technically you needed at least like 110 rupees because you had to go get your mitts from Pod,
true.
But I mean, it's just a small little, you know, entry fee, that's all. You had to pay off an extortionist to get your boots.
I mean, well, you know, Scottish Brave, you know, she's really good with her personal finances, right? And I don't think she's ever really been hurting in this case for cash.
No, she's been doing very well. Made some very good investments early, man, you know? Little Bitcoin and Eastern and all that, and just to the moon.
Yeah. She definitely knows when to buy and when to sell.
Oh man.
Oh, all right. So okay, so PH here, he's on 2 hearts, which I'm still a little bit, you know, concerned about. And unfortunately, no powder or anything like that. So, but he does have silvers. I just have to be, you know, a little bit more cognizant of where those small eyeballs are.
He's gonna be fine. I mean, I say that because I do believe that his first game was decided due to the fact that he died to Vitreous, but that just means that he's learned his lesson.
Okay, yeah. I mean, well, speaking of, those silver arrows, exactly, you know, no worries whatsoever. We do end up finding, I think we saw this on Scottish Brave side too, another bottle for, actually with a red potion in this case, so it's going to be a little bit nice.
He could refill his health before his health gets refilled if he wanted. So I think Ice Palace is a very sensible play from Scottish Brave here. Unfortunately, it is going to keep deterring them from getting this lovely movement item, but I mean, potentially they might be able just to single dip Turtle Rock by the time they get to it as well. Hard to say which one's better or worse in that scenario.
Yeah, and you know, and to your point, like for Scottish Brave to be doing Ice Palace now is very reasonable, right? A mountain trip, right, is actually still quite the time investment. You know, PH without the fire rod may not necessarily even want to go into Ice Palace with that Bombos medallion, right?
He'll just do Ice Palace and then he'll go get his fire rod after he
Oh, then we're gonna get all right. Like PH is gonna check Agina, get his higher castle small key, and then from his perspective, I don't know. At this point, like, would you be thinking about the logical implications, like, you know, because I think technically we didn't have to do Zora, right? Or we didn't have to do Aga for Dark World access.
You know what? I think that's a really good point you bring up, and I'm hoping from like PH's like perspective that he got his Dark World access items like so late that he didn't even consider that Aga wasn't required because like at that point it was like I don't even know what's going on anymore, and I think you know. That would be a good way to stave off some mental damage. I guess, you know, it would be ignorance, but, you know, whatever, man. Whatever you gotta do.
Yeah, I mean, well, right now, you know, and plus he also does have the boots, right? So, you know, the mental healing is, you know, has begun at the 15-minute mark.
That's true as well.
I think so we did see Scottish Brave picking up a shovel also in Ice Palace
Okay,
here.
lovely.
Yeah, so that's gonna be something else that we can check. Another key to pod that at this point I think nobody
Even
really
more
needs. Oh
lovely.
no, I guess they can still check Harmless Hellway with it, but probably not gonna be, you know, top priority at this point.
Well, I mean, it could technically be a little bit of a game changer, so to speak, if maybe that last item we're looking for is in pod as like a one-off. PH is probably going to be more inclined to open that chest because he
Oh
hasn't
yeah,
actually
yeah,
finished Helmasaur.
that is true. That's right. PH dipped into pod pretty early. Look at that, a Ice Palace small key in Ice Tea. All right, well. This is key sanity, of course. But yeah, no, this is actually a good point. So, like, alright, PH went to pot early without the hammer, without the bow, got as much as he could out of it, including mimic clipping to the bowlock side. But unfortunately, without those items that he basically just got, like, you know, 2 minutes after he left the dungeon.
Not
will
even
have to
2 minutes. He checked 3 things after he left pod,
yeah.
and 2 of them was hammer and bow.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Little Bitcoin there in the
yeah, it just racking up the cash, all ready for retirement right now.
Yeah, it's dividends. Yeah, this is really interesting. I don't even know how this is all going to shake down, but I mean, the 2 dungeon clears on Scottish Brave's side, like, those are big. The only benefit I could see from, you know, PH's side is it's slowly but surely kind of looking like you're going to have to go up the mountain and then perhaps, you know, leave the mountain to get your crystals, because we're really running out of things to do that are not, you know, on top of the mountain. Not necessarily, but it's getting close.
Yeah, and right, we're still looking for, you know, like another Turtle Rock small key to be able to clear it. And so, like, I think it's just
and a big key.
yeah. Yeah, that's right, and a big key, right? So, like, it really does kind of look like. Oh,
he gets 2 tries. It's fine.
Yeah, that's right. That's why there are 2 sides to every room. If you fail the first one, you can always have the second one as a backup.
Looks like he didn't hit the switch. Making good use of his Samaria and big key. He'll probably go through the front door here, and then he'll even get the extra small key just in case.
Yep.
Alright. So I think this was probably Pyramid Fairy from Scottish Brave, something we haven't seen yet.
Oh yeah, that's true. We did see that Meyer and Pod are 5-6 crystals. I think she also talked to the bottle person. So yeah, and has she? No, she's already been up to the pyramid. Yeah, that's where our desert pig was.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just gonna be a Pyramid Fairy check.
Nice, good call. I couldn't remember if she'd been there either. I was frantically scouring over the big keys to see if one had one, the other didn't.
Actually, so speaking of, I was thinking about the pyramid and the mirroring to the front of Escape. So PH hasn't done the back of Escape yet, right? I want to say.
No,
like,
I don't think he has.
Yeah, because he got the glove and hammer. Sorry, he got the bow and hammer pretty.
Yeah, the bow and both
it just
gloves.
has never had a chance to go there. And speaking of though, yeah, I was also gonna say, like, I don't think Peach has also done any of the boots checks either, right?
No, we've done no bonk rocks or whatnot,
Yeah.
and that small key that's hanging out on Lumberjack is...
Oh right, yeah, that I think would be pretty interesting for PH. That could certainly be something pretty reasonable for him to do.
I mean, if it's a swamp small...
Oh, dude, that...
And that's their last crystal? I mean... I said something about that a long time ago.
you did, very much so. That's gonna be pretty interesting. We don't think we found a map yet either to either Swamp or Thieves Town, so... Oh, well, that's not quite vanilla, but we do have a mirror shield on Scottish Brave side from Pyramid Fairy. I guess she's not happy with it. PH, I know you have red mail, but this is probably not the time to, you know, battle test it with the Cold Stare Puffs.
No, the red mail was indeed working. We did make sure there were no holes in it, as we got, you know, cotton candy kisses all over here. And then we're just really seeing a difference of the fights and how long they're taking because of our lack of artillery here.
Yeah, I mean, this was kind of a huge difference, right? PH not having the fire rod despite having half magic. It really can't do much else besides sword spins, master sword spins, or you know, hammer hits.
Alright, so maybe a little Smith sequence here from Scottish Brave. What, is she gonna drag the purple chest up to Graveyard Ledge too?
Oh
I don't know
wow,
what's gonna happen here.
this is gonna be so really interesting. You know, it's just like the more that Scottish Brave is just walking around. You know, the more I'm just thinking like, where is that ice bath for her? Because we are already past the next half-hour mark on her side, and you know, unfortunately, she still doesn't have the boots that were in Super Bunny.
Also, too, just trying to recollect, I don't think PH actually knows about that small key on Lumberjack. I think only Scottish Brave checked it. Unless he... No, I don't think he ever went back over there.
No,
so.
he hasn't. No, right. That knowledge is really only on Scottish Brave Check because you know, at the very beginning of the game, like she went to go check it, he didn't, and I don't think he's been back there.
Okay. Well, we'll see how this is all going to shake down. I have no idea. As we were dragging these... Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no! I was just saying that, like, you know, Peach probably is not thinking necessarily about overworld checks quite yet. You know, yeah, with the bow and the hammer. You know, he's got another crystal to clear up, and you know, maybe with that extra pot key, gonna be able to see what Harmless Hellboy has as well.
I am legitimately impressed at how much PH has been able to do without that said fire rod. He has really put in some work. As he's going to be getting, you know, his 5th dungeon clear without it.
Yeah, I'm right, and despite, you know, PH, yeah, as you said, like, he didn't have, like, a bow coming into pod, he still got, you know, he still was able to do Mimic Clip in order to get the bow lock side, he only had the lamp, didn't have the fire rod when he was in Mire, was still be able to full clear with the lamp. I mean, it's just like, he was just not really put too much of a disadvantage. Oh, there's the big key to Swamp, okay.
Just a heart container there in Harmless Hellboy, so that's not going to be painful for either of them. And then, yeah, Big Key to Swamp. That's an interesting one. I'd be like, bro, can you just forge this down to be a little bit smaller? I want the small one. I don't want the big one.
Yeah, can we pay 5 rupees for that big key to for the small key to Swamp? If you know, the 10, if the big one costs 10.
Yeah, yeah. Give me back a 5 and yeah, call it a day.
One upside at least for Scottish Brave is that, you know, you can't really dash that much, you know, with the purple chest in tow. So at least, you know, she won't be feeling the effects of the boots too much.
Oh man, I'm sure that's exactly what was going
through.
I'm
trying to make her feel better.
In the mind of the runners right now, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, man, I'm so glad I don't have boots right now because I feel like, oh, I can't use them because I'm turning in this guy's lunch.
Maybe she's hoping, yeah, in this case their boots are here. Oh, but this might be required. Oh, that looks pretty dang required. Hold, yeah.
Ooh, okay, that's a little bit of a spicy big key there.
Yeah, Turtle Rock Big Key looks like, actually, according to, you know, Mike in our tracker, she has 1 Turtle Rock small.
There's another one over here on
deck. Oh, right, yeah, that's right. I forgot that there was another Turtle Rock Big Key over here.
But we need 3.
The good news for Scottish Brave, she's gonna get her boots. I'm very happy about that. I guess I'm kind of curious to see if she decides to go into Turtle Rock at this point.
I mean, yeah, why not? But man, you might be thinking like, yo, give me that other key. There might just be one in the dungeon. If she finds one in any of the, you know, 100 chests that are in that dungeon, she can just full clear it. Not full clear it, but sans the vanilla big key. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is also, again, probably another incentive for her to go into Turtle Rock is that she has the fire rod, so she can get the map chest room in the front, whereas PH, again, missing that fire rod from Ice Rod Cave right now, cannot.
Yo, her perspective, like, hold on, let me make sure I'm getting this right. All right, so she gets the boots here, okay? She goes in, she goes into Turtle Rock, she finds a small key, she clears Turtle Rock. She needs 1 more crystal. She doesn't know what it is. There's a small key on Lumberjack. She knows about it. Like, would you just go ahead? Like, you could. I mean, I don't even think it would be that bad, but oh man.
I mean, you would check some of like the overworld checks that we talked about earlier, right? Like, we haven't seen any boost checks from people. We haven't seen Graveyard Ledge. I mean, I don't know if that's worth it to combine. Like, I don't know if you want to go all the way in Dark World to make sure that you don't isolate Graveyard Ledge. Or you just do the quick boost checks immediately from the Light World? I don't know.
You could be 1 literal small key from Go Mode, and there's a small key there, and you know it's there. And the cool thing, I mean, we have 0 Mire small keys, so you got to be thinking to yourself like, oh god, it's one of those. But I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah. It looks like though PH, but I don't know if he was thinking about Swamp versus Pyramid Fairy versus something, but he had a change of heart. Does not want to take that portal right now
Okay.
into South Dark World.
Maybe he was thinking about doing Swamp and then he realized he didn't have the key.
Yeah, I'm also wondering that. But I mean, but technically speaking, you know, this is key sanity. There's nothing really stopping from the small key to Swamp being vanilla.
There is
But
absolutely nothing
yep.
stopping it. You are correct.
But it's probably not the time investment that you necessarily want to make at this particular moment. But it looks like we might be getting a combination here of North Dark World from PH. Okay, so he's gonna find the small key now. I wonder what else this is going to propel him to do.
All right. Yeah, we'll see what the small key is. Could be the greatest key in the world. Could be absolute junk, dude. It could be a small key to Swamp, and Swamp's just your last pendant. That would just be the.
That would be a real feels bad.
All right, what do we got? We have a small key to Misery Mire. Oh, there you go.
All right, okay.
So that could be like best case scenario for Scottish Brave, as Aga 1 was completely not required at all. There is a third Turtle Rock small key there in the dungeon, so she will be able to complete this dungeon. Okay, man. I would say things are looking pretty good for Scottish Brave right now. But, I mean, it really is just going to depend on these other items. But, like, yeah, she is missing literally just one thing. And it could be a variety of two things. We don't know yet.
Yeah, but I mean, but again, like, this was something that Fire Rod, actually, right now, has given kind of Scottish Brave, like, that advantage, right? Because that small key was in the Fire Rod lock side. PH could not have gotten that when he was
Where was the other small? She didn't have it? I thought it was over here on Dead Mountain. I'm so confused now. Alright, well, never mind. We're still missing one.
I thought also, right.
It's in the pod, big key chest! Oh, no!
Oh yeah, no, thank you, Mike. That was a very excellent reminder, that's right. Oh man, I really...
Never mind.
Well, alright, well then we're really gonna need that fourth Turtle Rock key at some point to show up. Although, you know, the fact that Scottish Brave does also have Harmless Hellway, you know, back in pod, it's not, you know, the vanilla Big Key chest is not, you know, isolated for her. So there are, you know, chances for her to go back there. Although, I mean, you know, not sure what the priority is. You know, just like for PH, you know, he's got, you know, some people like to put off, you know, Ice Rock Cave early just because you don't have boots, you don't have flute, so it's difficult, you know, to kind of, you know, get over there. But, you know, he's got all this stuff, and when is he gonna go over there to get his Fire Rod?
Oh. Yeah, sorry for misleading everybody. I was certain that that key was over here, and then that was why she didn't have it yet. Boy, well, that's actually a big deal. So, man, it just keeps getting muddier and muddier here. You know, the more chests we open, the more confused I get. I don't know what to think anymore.
I first thought she was not gonna go outside, and I was like, wait, no, you need to still go outside in order to get the big chest and Mimic Cave. It looks like she just wanted a little bit more health.
Alright. Well, this will be new stuff from Scottish Brave side, doing Mimic Cave, and then pretty much all of Turtle Rock up the Laser Bridge. PH doing the right thing here. We'll be getting his Turtle Rock Big Key. He does need that. However, this is where it's kind of funny. Hilariously enough, you know, he can't kill Trinex either because he doesn't have a Fire Rod, and then the other small key that he needs to even get to Trinex is locked behind that Fire Rod in Turtle Rock, so, like...
So, okay, so you're in Peach's shoes. You're going to turn in and do the Smith Chain and drag down the purple chest, get your TR Big Key. You're kind of like in that area. Would you dip into the first Justice Swamp?
Well, he's not going to be in the Dark World, so...
I mean, well...
I don't...
But he hasn't checked Shovel yet, right?
Wait, I'm so confused. I forgot where the big key to TR was.
Oh, it was in purple chest. Yeah, it was in purple chest. Yeah. So, I mean, it looks like he's dragging it all the way. Maybe he wants, never mind, maybe he wants to do Hammer Pegs first. But I guess, like, would you just lose your portal? Or leave your portal here and then just do all the Light World stuff? Or would you be tempted to do the first chest and swamp?
I mean, I think you just mirror here, then you go turn in the purple chest, and then you can just make the decision there. I don't know if that's necessarily any faster or slower than just walking down from here, right? And then you can just, make your decision. It's probably just faster to turn it in this way anyways. If you had a book, I think maybe that would change a little bit, because you could check Bombo's tablet. Maybe you just do it and, or hedging against the book being on the purple chest, but I don't know what he's going to do.
I should see a very slight change in scenery, just because PH had defeated Aga. And so all of these extra critters and defense, I guess, on the light world weren't there on ScottishBrave's side.
Oh my god. Both? You get both of them? Alright, give me a match.
Wow.
Please. Come on, man. That's too rude.
Oh, wow. Okay, alright, you're in ScottishBrave's position. What do you do? Oh, there's smoking Hera too. That's not something what I want to see.
I swear a little bit at that not being a TR small. That's what I do. Well, maybe you.
Are we flipping some coins here? That like a Bitcoin that she ended up investing in, and seeing if it lands heads or tails.
You go do Thieves Town, 100%. Okay, and then as you're clearing Thieves Town, you get a crystal from Blind, and then also a small key to Turtle Rock from Blind, and then you die, and then you go and finish Turtle Rock, and you come and brag about how big your brain is. That's what you do.
I have my popcorn ready. It looks like ScottishBrave is doing what you have suggested.
Big brain. Here we go.
Oh man.
All right, yeah, back of escape. You were indeed correct. He did not ever make it over here with the glove.
With the gloves.
Nothing back here, I don't believe.
No, it was like compass map maybe. Yeah, and a heart piece.
And PH is really running out of desirable things to do as well. Like Eastern Palace might be sitting on his mind. And we don't need. There's nothing we need now. We have everything. We just don't know what it is we need to do.
Right.
But everything that each person needs is kind of isolated, so I don't even know how they're going to get to it. Yeah, here he is coming up Death Mountain, so he will not be able to do Turtle Rock at all. And then,
he's gonna go all the way, presumably, with the two Turtle Rock small keys, just like what ScottishBrave did, right? And go, presumably, a laser bridge, and then get both of his, Turtle Rock.
Bad for him, dude.
Oh, yeah, it
no.
does.
Oh, no.
Man, this is that isolated ice trap cave.
Oh man.
Oh, that is going to be some. The consequences of not having the fire rod, it's just kind of it has rippling effects. Right now, it really has, I think, kind of punished PH a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't think that this would be as catastrophic, and it's kind of funny too because once he gets his fire rod, after he does all of Turtle Rock, he's going to be thinking to himself, I just need one more small key. Are you thinking to yourself, it's obviously in that fire rod lock spot of, Turtle Rock. So if he doesn't find that small key too, he could go even further down a rabbit hole before returning to Turtle Rock.
Oh, yeah,
pretty
that's
nasty.
True. Yeah, no, that's a very, very excellent point because, that fire rod, not only it does lock, that Turtle Rock small key, so PH, if he happens to get around it, he still can't kill Trinex. Yeah.
And the fourth key could be vanilla, right? That would just be kind of hilarious too. All right, well, what do we got? Oh, small key to Dark Palace. So
that's our sixth one. I mean, I don't know. Would that motivate you to go back to pod at this point?
Over Olive Swamp?
No. I guess I don't know. I mean, it's a
Probably not. Probably not over Olive Swamp. Well, that's all right.
No, that's a good point. Pendant Swamp versus not. I mean, it's just there's just so many items that you have in Swamp.
Anyway, the Prophecy of Smoking. We got Turtle Rock, small key here, if it can be here. I don't even know if it's allowed to be here or not. I assume it can. And then Crystal.
Alright, so ScottishBrave also demonstrated that the Mirror Shield is just as good as the Fire Shield to deflect out fireballs, twice, not even.
Okay. That'll save her, a couple seconds on the heart refill. Oh man, it's just a heart.
And we got a pendant! Alright, well, that is...
Blind.
We have knowledge now.
That was the right play, though. I liked it.
I mean, the fact that you also had listed that, and you made up a very excellent point, is that she could have preserved her portal if Thieves was a crystal, was a very, very good decision.
Alright, I'm going over more hypotheticals here in my head. Boy, okay, so guess what? Same situation, but boy, I didn't think we were going to be in this kind of position. Scottish Brave is a small key from Go mode. Scottish Brave knows where a small key is.
Oh no. let's just put, you know, that particular scenario out of our heads. She also knows where 2 more small keys are at, which are vanilla in Castle Tower. I'm really hoping in this case that she doesn't quite go down that path just yet.
Yeah, just a small key, like, plethora. All the small keys in the world you could ever want. This play will not work out, but boy, it wouldn't be a bad one.
That would certainly even things up quite a bit though between herself and PH. You know, PH did Aga early, still missing a couple of, you know, major progression items at the time. Decided to just get into Dark World, you know, as early as he can. We did find out on his side in this case that it wasn't required for Lumberjack, but that certainly would be given some time back here to PH.
Yeah. Most certainly it does look like PH is going to need some help, because I think if, you know, this plays its course, Scottish Brave is probably going to be just too much ahead, having, you know, the faster boss fights, having the extra dungeon clears. PH is going to basically be doing all of, you know, Turtle Rock the same as her, but not being able to complete it also. Oh man.
Yeah, and the fact that so Scottish Brave's Tempered Sword. Well, I guess no, he's gonna get Gold Sword here, right? In Turtle Rock, or he's gonna get his Tempered Sword.
No.
Or where was Scottish Brave's Gold Sword?
She doesn't have Gold Sword. It's still orange.
Oh, okay. So sorry.
Yeah, Mike's punking you, dude.
Oh,
I can't believe he would do that.
My apologies. I think I've just seen her like yeah, you're right. Just didn't see her dash enough. No, my mistake. I was gonna say that is right. Scottish Brave's Tempered Sword was also in the back of skull, which is in this case Fire Rod locked. I mean, PH has still done, you know, quite, you know, well for himself only on Master Sword, but you know, we do see actually quite a bit of difference between having Master Sword, no Fire Rod, you know, for example, on Cold Stare versus, well, Tempered Sword, Half Magic, Fire Rod, you know, etc. Right? It's just quite. Alright. Well,
okay.
You know, okay. Bumbo's tablet is right next to us, so that's not going to be too bad.
No, it's bad. So the good thing that Scottish Brave has on her side is that her Go mode exists.
Okay, so Mike was just a little bit early.
How did he do that?
He was very prescient about where that Gold Sword was, and he just knew it was going to be in Swamp. So we're
incredible.
Okay.
The sword's always in Swamp. I'll just go ahead and pre-click this. Yeah. So what I was saying, Scottish Brave, her Go mode, she has 2 of them. And, like, we know where one is, but the other one could be anywhere. So, like, this is not necessarily, I say, as bad for her as, you know, it is for PH. Because she could find her Go mode literally on the way here, whereas PH, he's gonna have to meander a little bit before he finds his. And it looks like he's just gonna go to Swamp.
Oh, right! I forgot he killed Aga, even though we just mentioned it a couple times. But yes, if you save and quit the Dark World and you killed Aga and you have the mirror, you start up on the pyramid. So chances are he's just like, you know what, I'm already here, let's just run down the Swamp.
Yeah. No point in can't save a portal, killed Aga, all that stuff.
That is, well, right. So if Thieves Town had been a crystal, Scottish Brave, because she had not defeated Aga at the time, she could have saved it. But in this case, PH doesn't really have any other option. I mean, it turns out in this case, Swamp is a crystal, so we had to kill our portal anyway. But that could have also been, you know, quite the difference.
These are not small keys?
These are in fact, yes, very red, shiny things that unfortunately won't do us really any good for the time being.
I don't even see how PH is going to avoid even, like, going to Thieves Town as well. So... what if he gets a Thieves Town small here and, like, the other TR big isn't the Thieves Town big? Like, oh, but there's so many silly, stupid possibilities I don't want to think about.
Just like that big key to skull was.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about his book. I don't want to think about his hair
Oh my
small.
gosh, yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. We did pick up Harris Lucky on Laser Bridge as well. Oh my gosh. And we have Spike Cave, I think, that's also open. We have Ether Tablet. I don't know. I mean, these are some pretty... Alright, so, okay.
No invincibility item.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's not quite like... Okay, so you're in Scottish Race position. Assuming your go mode is not on Argus, are you coming back?
Yes.
Okay.
You go back into Swamp Palace, or, like, again, we go down the bucket list of all the undesirable checks in the entire world. I mean, there is not much good left in the world on her seed.
We still don't have powder either. That's just looking at our tracker.
Yeah, I don't want to see that either. Like, put it back. Just put it back.
Unfortunately, oh man, it looks like she just fired that silver arrow just a little bit too soon. Didn't quite register that it was a hit, even though we did see it very squarely on Argus. The second one goes right through. Not a small key on Argus, so but we do have well, our 6th crystal.
I think one good thing from her, I guess, maybe to deter, like, you know, maximum amount of things you have to check before you find what you need. She'll probably do the vanilla big key chest of pod before she does Eastern, right?
Oh yeah, that could be. It is quite the long trek in order to get over to Armos, right? And that's really like the only item that's not, well, sorry, you do have green pendant, but like it's still quite a long ways over.
So maybe it won't last located, I guess.
I guess we just see maybe a little bit of time save on PH's side, right? Opting to left side first. I mean, this is also very understandable because PH is still, you know, missing a fire rod, which of course we know is not over here, but PH is in a 2-item go mode, whereas, you know, ScottishBrave is just 1. So it's really very reasonable for him to do this first.
And he is also missing a Turtle Rock small key too, which is just hilarious. I don't know how we got ourselves in this position.
Right. And so maybe for those of you just joining us, or maybe midway through, we know that the Fire Rod is an Ice Rod cave, which, you know, PH has still unfortunately not visited. Their respective Turtle Rock small keys that the other doesn't have is that Scottish Brave has the one that is Fire Rod locks on in Turtle Rock small key, and the one that PH has is in the vanilla big key chest of pod. Which, yeah, Scottish Brave has not been back to, so...
Dude, you know a really good play from PH will be like to go to Ice Rod Cave here, and then just go to do Mothula, and then think he's in go mode, and go to Turtle Rock, and then realize he's not in go mode, and then just check the right side and be like, oh, that was lucky.
So
that would be really sick.
You're saying that mental damage potentially could also be a benefit, right? You're just so frazzled, right? With everything that's going on, you're like, oh no, this is all I need, and then you just go over there and
that would be a really good route. That would save him from, you know, having to do like Thieves Town and potentially Eastern and whatnot.
Oh yeah, that's true. I actually wonder if he decides. Well, so he's gonna know from the Swamp Palace play that he's gonna get a crystal, and so he should also have full crystal pendant knowledge. And so maybe that can deter him from maybe going to Thieves Town.
He's gonna go to Thieves, man. I don't see you. Like, I mean, Ice Rod Cave, I guess, I don't know. You could do it now.
Well, okay, he most likely will do the book check, or for Bongo's tablet, just what Scottish Brave is doing after this, because it's gonna be, I don't know, hopefully fast. But then, you know, Ice Rod Cave, it's just a flute away, PH.
Yeah, and you know how long it's been a flute away? For, like, roughly, like,
I don't, you know,
an hour.
I don't want well, you know, this time he also has boots as well. I just hope he doesn't, like, he hasn't forgotten about it.
We got a small key over here on Bombo's tablet. It is $50.
It is not the small key we're looking for.
Alright, where are we going now? We're gonna go do our Skullwoods big key? Well, we're gonna do the Desert Small. Alright.
Oh, right, yeah, that's right. We did pick that up earlier. So there's gonna be 2 more quick, well, not really quick, but it is gonna be 2 more checks that we have. Maybe it's quick relative to everything else that we have available to us.
This is such a garbage feeling to have in a seed like this, to just be floundering for this item that, you know, there's another one out there. So, you know, if your opponent, like, it's very unlikely they're in the same position, because, like, they could have found some other one that, you know, you never found because you routed slightly different. Oh man,
Yeah.
I don't envy these positions whatsoever.
Yeah, and for what, at least for what it's worth, though, we actually do still have two, GT smalls that we had picked up. So, GT finding that whatever the big key is in the basement somewhere is not going to be too much of an issue.
Oh yeah, no, they have. You just need two, and they're good.
Yeah. I mean, it's always not a really good feeling where it's like if you cleared out like the rest of the seed.
Hey,
Oh, all right.
desert.
That
All right.
looks 1 hour 32 minutes. Scottish Brave can officially go finish up Turtle Rock.
And then, I'd say with that, they are looking like to be in just a commanding position, not only in this race, but in this group as well. Scottish Brave will be going 3-0 if, everything goes according to plan and they win, and it'll be 3-0 against all three of the opponents. They have no repeats.
Yeah, no, that is true.
And then it's exactly the same with PH, but inverted. He has played everybody once, and he has lost all 3 times in, basically heartbreakers. And what that means for the tournament, it means that Scottish Brave cannot be eliminated, but it does not mean that PH is eliminated.
Yeah, I think there are certain, tiebreaker implications or something. We probably go check the exact sequence of tiebreakers, but I believe PH, yes, he is still possibly in contention, not 100% eliminated. He does remember in this case that he defeated Aga, so he got a slightly, shortcut over here to do Pyramid Fairy. I did not see him do Bombo's tablet check, so maybe he's just willing to kind of cut a little bit of corners here and there, trying to save himself a little bit of time.
Well, we'll look at his mirror shield. In case he wants to go back to Laser Bridge and just double check that all those chests are indeed open.
Man, alright, PH. I believe in you. You can go to Ice Rod Cave. You can go get your Fire Rod. We're fluting. That's step 1. That's not flute spot 8.
Yeah, I mean, this makes perfect sense by him.
Yeah, no, right. And I mean, it's what we see from our side, right? Seeing full screen, knowing where everything is, we certainly want him to go to Ice Rock Cave. From his perspective, though, right? You've got 4 items in Thieves' Town that you've also found on Laser Bridge, by the way, which is, pretty far in terms of spheres, in logic. You're certainly going to be very reasonable to chase something that's not only more item dense, but also something that's kind of further down in logic as well.
And then, you could even say that this is even correct standpoint based on the fact that, he's like, if the Fire Rod is an Ice Rod Cave, I've probably lost. Well, guess what? It was an Ice Rod Cave, and guess what? That's probably also true, too. So this would most certainly be playing to your outs, which is, something you have to do sometimes.
Yeah. And this is also something, that's, again, different mentality, from the, major qualifier races. It was, very, very big, right? You're racing against, I don't know, 70, 80, 90 people. You probably don't necessarily want to say, put yourself in positions where it's like, well, if an item is here, I've lost, right? Well, you're racing against 80 other people. Go spend the extra whatever time and get yourself a reasonable spot. Playing one-on-one is going to be something very different.
Good Turtle Rock so far.
Gonna
have Gold Sword. These anti-fairies are not letting you.
I am curious to see if my guess is PH probably won't be on Gold Sword. I guess I'm just thinking by the time he gets his Fire, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe he'll have his Gold Sword because he'll get Fire Rod eventually, and then he will probably go beat Skullwoods first after he gets it, and then he'll get Gold Sword, and then he'll go find his last Turtle Rock small. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. Would you just go up? I guess you wouldn't, right? You would still go check desert or stuff before heading back up to Turtle Rock?
I don't know, man.
I'm sorry. It's difficult decisions.
Yeah, probably. I think I mean, he might even go to desert before he gets his Fire Rod, so.
Oh, yeah, that's also a good point. There are 2 items over there. No, every small key at this point, by the way, for PH is just gonna be like, oh, this is my Turtle Rock song. No.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, he still needs his Fire Rod, so.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I think we'll see an Eastern Palace play.
Hmm. That is also 2 items as well. We do have Armos is the green pendant. I mean, we certainly know at this point it really can't be anything useful. But from PH's perspective, you know, he doesn't know that. Meanwhile, though, looks like Scottish Brave, yeah, she's on her way to GT. You know, finally, you know, we were talking about this, I think, since minute 2. She's finally decided to spend her well-earned crystal investments to actually go into GT.
And yeah, if you guys want to guess a number between 1 and 22, where you think that GT Big Key guessing game is, I won't stop you.
And I guess, like, okay, so Ak, you're here with 2 GT Smalls. Like, do you take a different path necessarily? I guess. 3 GT Smalls.
I mean, with 3, the only thing you can do differently is you don't even have to worry about getting the extra key after the compass room. You can just skip it.
Okay. Yeah,
and then you're safe for all, like, you know, worst case scenarios.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just wondering if people, you know, so especially for like non-key situations, you know, people have their preferred routes, right? Some people like to do Staphos room first, you know, get a guaranteed small key in order to do compass room next. Some people like to go hope room first. Just curious if people, you know, have different strategies in this case, if you know, if it's keys.
I think it's like, I mean, it really depends. As long as you have more than 1. It doesn't really matter too much, but like if you only have 1, I think you most certainly have to go compass side first and then grab the small and then steal it and then go back.
Okay.
And then you can skip the lonely fire bar and then just pray that the big key is not there.
Oh right, yeah.
But outside of that, I don't think it matters too much. If you have 2, then you go right side first, make sure you steal the key, and then if you have 3, just don't open every single key door in the dungeon.
This is a really good checklist. Thank you very much, Ak. I also would like to point out, like, so I think we mentioned we didn't have any missability item. Nice skull was small key, by the way, and the skull was big chest.
Lovely.
But yeah, so we found powder, and we found the cape, and we found the cane of Berna all on GT.
Right. So sequence breakers of fake powder and Spike Cave
right?
just in shambles. They're like, oh my god, it was guaranteed dead lost time, but you know.
Oh, speaking of, PH here is doing, you know, us as the viewers a favor. Gonna check here what is on the pedestal.
It's an interesting play by him because I feel like after this he's probably just gonna go to Eastern anyways. But I mean, I guess you would know whether or not you need the, you know, Dr. Saha after the fact, I suppose. Okay, just kidding. He's actually going to desert.
Oh, nice. Okay. Alright, so he is still, keep in mind, he is still in 2-item go mode. He needs a Turtle Rock small key, which we did see Scottish Brave picking up earlier here on a desert right side. We know the 4th key is inside Turtle Rock itself. That's Fire Rod locked, which, you know, chances are he's not going to be able to get at this point. He still needs that Fire Rod from Ice Rod Cave.
I don't want to make any hypotheticals, but I know that when he went and checked Bonk Rocks and stuff like that, he actually didn't play, or he didn't do the Smith sequence, or sorry, the drop down to Sanctuary. I'm struggling for words right now. Makes me wonder if, you know, if he's running with a map tracker or not. By the way, there's the big key in chest number 13.
Oh, were you actually
or 14? No, but there's a compass. That's the
you're
thing.
right, dude. That's right. We have a see. This is why we love compasses. Thank you, counter.
Yeah, we need a compass to, like, why don't we do that from now on? Just give everyone the damn compass to the Ganon's Tower at the start. No one would care.
I mean, I would certainly be a fan of it, but that's, you know, it's personal choice.
Yeah. Hey, we're not going to Eastern.
Gosh, PH! Oh my gosh, I was so happy for you. PH at 1 hour and 42-ish minutes. We are going to be in go mode for him. Hopefully he doesn't feel too bad about picking up this Fire Rod after such a long time.
I don't know, man. I think you're probably feeling pretty not great.
Yeah, so he's expressed his opinion about what he thinks about that Fire Rod location. But at least now he's gonna be able to go defeat Skull Woods and Mothula, and then go up the mountain, and then also, you know, finish up the seed.
Yeah, he got to skip what? Killing Armos. He got to skip. Did he do Hair Basement or Ether
He
Tablet?
did not do Hera Basement. That is correct.
Hair Basement, Ether Tablet, and then boy, outside of that, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, and then we have like the non-int logic checks where he didn't do Spike Cave, he didn't do, you know, Magic Bats. Trying to think. He didn't do Bondo's Tablet. That's a plus. He explicitly skipped that after Swamp.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
He went straight to Pyramid Theory.
Okay. All right. And then he'll get to skip the right 2 chests in Turtle Rock. So, all things considered, how everything went down, I wouldn't be feeling great.
You're not wrong, but of course you keep playing until you see the dot done from your opponent. You really don't know what's going to happen on their side. Could be certainly, you know, certainly not hoping for disasters for either runner, but you know there could be some unforeseen circumstances, or maybe they just did kind of something very similar to you. You never know.
Yeah. Again, yeah, it could be like you guys did exactly the same route, but you know, when you went to get the chest in Cave 45, you only picked up 1 pot and they picked up 2, and you've just been holding on to that lead ever since. It could happen.
Hey, screen transitions do add up, all right? You know,
Oh, they
picking up
do.
pots, you know, is a very underrated skill.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even legal in all states, so.
You're not wrong.
Right. Conserving a little magic
I
here.
wonder what a government though a Dark World has. You know, because you know, Light World, I expect some sort of like, you know, actual, you know, government, but you know, Dark World, it's not a dictatorship, man. Like that's
it kind of
right.
Yeah, it screams anarchy, but boy, it's quite the opposite. Yeah.
ScottishBrave though, she's made her way through. Yeah, barely just can take some safeties. Get the hell of the Sword King. Meanwhile, PH though, probably a little bit more comfortable of a Mothula fight here, given that you know he did have Temper Sword, but still did a very nice job.
And there is quite literally 0 items that she could want from any of these chests, unless we were happened to be playing on like, you know, version what? God, I think it was like V18 or something, where I think Quarter Magic still exists. It might have even been before that. Oh, those were the dreams, man. Progressive magic bars.
Oh, dude. Well, you know,
Yeah.
on ladder, you know, Donka's ludicrous speed, right? There is, I think they put Quarter Magic back in the pool, so you could actually end up with Quarter Magic. But certainly not going to be here in case of the main tournament. But yeah, if you've ever tried playing with Quarter Magic, I mean, the Fire Rod, like, you know, we talk about spamming the Fire Rod with, you know, half magic, like, that thing just doesn't go down.
No, you just keep doing it. Dude, man, I was just thinking about it. Quarter Magic too? For the anti-fake powder lobbyist out there, man, that's like the greatest item for them.
that would be quite the time investment. All right. So I know that ScottishBrave was on, you know, cycle 1 of Aga 2. A bunch of them hit. I don't know how many counted. So hopefully we'll just kind of truck through and get 6 hits at some point.
Yeah. Good double there. That fight got a little away from us, but we most certainly have time to kill as she is up an entire dungeon, an entire Ganon's tower. We have gold sword, we have silvers, we have red mail. I think we still got a red potion, but we are stacked.
Yeah, oh yeah. And of course, you know, given the experience of both ScottishBrave and PH, certainly do not expect anything to go wrong on Ganon. It has never ever stopped any experienced runner from having some amount of disasters on Ganon. You know, all of the defense in the world cannot help you from falling.
That's true. All right. Not taking the torch to the face. Honestly, no complaints from me so far.
Yeah, and you know, and one, you know, minor difference, of course, you know, PH versus ScottishBrave. ScottishBrave, you know, as Zach mentioned, as you know, the gold sword doesn't have to work as hard in order to get through phases 1 and 2. PH is not going to have quite the nice luxury, but you know, certainly very capable of getting the 1-on-1.
Oh. Yeah, he's not gonna have gold sword for Trinix though. Sag.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, damn. On our way to phase 3 here, only 2 more hits, 4 more arrows. Well, specifically 4 more arrows to land.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true. A couple more
this
piles
is a great
to fall.
spot there. Do this, get a little torch glitch. If you're quick enough, you can go ahead and...
Oh yeah, that was actually some really nice placement. She was literally right next to the torch.
All right, yeah, just one more, and that'll be a 3-0 lead for Scottish Brave. Oh man, you got to be feeling good being having that record in this group, because this group was pretty tough too.
Yeah, and yeah, get your G's on chat now for Scottish Braves. Just a little bit extra time and gonna cross the finish line. Let's actually get an official time finish. That's like 1:47:10. Yeah, GG's. This will advance her as Zach said earlier, 3-0 in the group, 1 win against each of her group mates in this particular case.
Man, I'm sick of this Days guy. He keeps showing up all night.
He's such a showboater, man. Bragging that he can finish the seed in 1:21.
He's so fast, that guy. I can't wait until somebody knocks him off. He's not playing right now, is he?
He is not. I believe he's fast asleep right now.
Thank God, dude. I would have been mad. All right. Yeah, definitely get your GGs in chat. We will see if they want to come in and chit-chat with us about how they felt about the seed. And then again, no one said I was wrong. They tried to say I was wrong. I don't know if I'm wrong, but I do think that, like, she will at least make it to a tiebreaker. Oh, also look at PH.
Oh yeah, we're getting some really nice jams on PH's side while we watch a couple hover attempts. I do believe that this indicates that PH has officially thrown in the tile for this particular race. So get your G's in chat for PH. He ran quite the seed for us. So valiant effort for this.
Do the hover again. If you get the hover, you lose the race. You win the hearts, man.
PH, so, certainly, the major difference, for this particular race was that PH did not have the fire rod, which kind of, at least in the end game, locked him out of a bunch of stuff, but he has made excellent progress. Never really deterred from making checks, right? He did mimic clipping and pod to get his bow lock side stuff. He had the lamp, he was able to do, Ice Palace, like, he has made excellent progress.
No, again...
This was phenomenal.
All of his losses were so close, so this group is still wide up in the air. You might not think it. Change your mind. Anybody can still come out of this group. Nothing is settled. Yeah, they are just hanging out in the waiting room. If they want to come up and chit-chat, they are more than welcome to. If they are scared of us, which honestly I wouldn't blame them either, they can just kind of meander in the waiting room amongst themselves as well. I accept both. I won't take any offense to it, I promise. Clearmouse is going to be mad, but I'm not going to take any offense.
I won't have to be mad that much.
See, they don't want you mad. They came up now. They're scared.
Yeah, looks like we are actually joined by Scottish Brave. GG's on your 3-0 record.
Thank you very much.
Any general thoughts about the seed? Did you think it was going well for you? Did you were you worried at any point? I guess maybe I'll ask you if you felt bad if once you found the boots in this case, maybe you were too late getting to them.
But yeah, because I was trying to put off going back up until I could at least clear quite a decent chunk of Turtle Rock. It got down, I was like, okay, I'm just going to have to go. When I saw the boots and they've been available for quite some time, I was like, that probably going to hurt quite a lot.
That makes perfect sense, yeah. Yeah,
getting boots late's never a nice feeling, but yeah, I was hoping maybe I'd pulled it back a bit by going into TR so early. And it was a cheeky play. I was just hoping TR would have a couple of its own keys sitting in there for me.
Yeah, I mean, it did have one, but yeah, unfortunately, the other one you were missing was in the pod vanilla big key location, which was the, I guess the 50-50 you chose not to check that one chest, which is the worst.
Yeah. Oh, I had a feeling there was like maybe something's in there, but I thought I'll do Harmless Hellway. So if I do go back to pod, it's much quicker than going all the way back into Hellway, and it might make me go back quicker.
Oh yeah, of course. And then you could have paired it with Eastern and all that. Dude, it makes perfect sense to skip that chest with the layout that you had for sure.
Yeah, I was a bit unsure about going in with 3 keys, and then it handed me a 4th. I was like, I feel much better about this choice now. But oh yeah, a couple of cheeky plays that I think paid off for me, which was a bit lucky towards me, I think there.
Yeah. So like when you chased the flippers early on, that netted you your hammer. That was pretty good. And then I think decision to go to catfish earlier also got you the bow. So definitely really helped with pod there too.
Yes, that fish. Yes.
Yeah. We are also joined here by PH. GG's.
Hello, GG's.
I think you play. I mean, for what you didn't have, you did very well.
Well, I don't know what y'all are talking about. I had everything I needed, right?
Well, I'm looking at your item screen, and you're right. You have everything you need. So
yeah, we got there eventually. Yeah, we jumped into the the race room afterwards, and Scottish was asking where I was. I was like, yeah, I'm in Turtle Rock. I got the fire rod like 4 minutes ago. Not great.
Oh no.
I think that's exactly what I said.
That was something that I try to. There's a couple of things that I tend to more often than not skip depending on circumstances, and once I do, I usually try to commit to that as like, well, we'll just sort of hope there's nothing important there. Bombos tablet, the Ice Rod Cave, like I was like, you know what, I really, really don't want to go back, even though there's probably more value in finishing Eastern than like going to Desert. Dipping TR when I had a fair amount of other stuff. It was more kind of like, I tend to, in this instance, when I'm clearing, try and be fairly thorough, but pick stuff that I just don't want to do. And in this case, that was a bad one to pick. Not that I'm saying it's particularly justified. It's just that's what happened. It was just a bad decision.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think like it was. I don't know, it could go either way, but like it was almost kind of unlucky with how bad it burned you. No pun intended on that. But you had the lamp, and then like the fire rocket still lock a decent amount of items, but like it didn't lock a single thing for you. So you were literally able to do roughly everything in the entire seed. So
yeah,
yeah.
Especially we go into. I think you were talking about it with Scottish a moment ago, but we go into Turtle Rock, and it's like, oh, a Turtle Rock key, and I'm actually thinking, that's good, but also kind of bad. All right, I guess I'm going to Laser Bridge. Oh, now I have 2 more dungeons that I can go into. Cool. All right. Like I think at some point I really should have just been like, I need to clean up Sphere 1, but I never did. And I mean, I think my refrain tends to be pretty common after a lot of these, which is I'm playing against this group. I think is 3 players who are very experienced, very good. Obviously, I think every group is tough. I think this one is very tough, and so I try to pick a couple of things that I'd like to think are maybe opportunes for me to pick up a little bit of time that would be otherwise common checks. And in this case, it really hurt, and that's the risk that I feel like I should be taking, because I think I'm kind of playing a little bit from behind from minute 1. So which at the end of the day means GG's to Scottish, because she's really, really good, and won, deservedly so, by a pretty wide margin here.
Right back at you, though. You're also, when I saw this group, I was like, this is not an easy time at all. Everyone in here is such a good runner. And an excellent person as well, but like, yeah, I just knew, like, every match, it's like you have to bring A game here. Absolutely have to bring A game. Yeah, everybody's just so scary to race.
Yeah, and definitely don't sell yourself short either. Like I've been watching, man. You are definitely no slouch at all, and like your last 2 matches could have even like gone, way differently, under different circumstances, of course. And then like you say you're newer as well, but I mean, how you handled your last race, especially at the end. I mean, there's a lot of people in this community that have been here forever that could take notes for the proper way to deal with a situation like that. So you have nothing but my respect.
No, I really appreciate that, but I think thinking about these races as a whole, I think it's just, this is so fun, and I don't know about so if you guys looked in the race room, Scottish and I were so tremendously excited to see the two of you calming today, and of course Mike on tracker, because we have so much respect for all of you, and except for Scottish and Mike, I don't know.
For Ark and Clear Mouse, absolutely 100%. Mike probably settling right now about 12%.
I had to pressure him a lot in order to track for this race. So hopefully Mike can ease off some of the mental damage from this.
Well, I'll give him an extra 5% respect then.
I didn't even read those compliments before the race started. Now I feel bad about all those mean things I said. Oh no.
Mean things? It was mean.
We said nothing mean. Don't worry. and if we do, just mute that part of the VOD so we have no evidence.
Perfect. There we go.
If someone could give us times to mute, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Oh, that'll start to finish. No, I'm just kidding.
No, okay, right. So Mike actually did ask a question in chat, and I would actually, maybe to bring things, maybe back to some business. I was also kind of curious as well. So early game. So one major difference also early game was, Scottish Brave, you chased the flippers, got your hammer, but also when you guys did the back of escape, you also got the hook shot, which unlocked like, Pearl, I think, also Master Sword or whatever. And then when you eventually went back to Lagina and found that Hyrule Castle small key, like, I guess maybe my question for you, maybe particular PH, is were you thinking about like the logic and whether or not you had to do AGA? For Dark World access?
A little bit. Honestly, the AGA play was a little more just like, I'll be honest, I was kind of looking for a reason to do it. Like I was really, like, when I went in early, that front of Hyrule Castle, I was really hoping to come across the Caper of Sword. I really wanted to try and, like, get that, knowing even that, we still needed to find the Moon Pearl, because I feel like because I didn't have the hammer, I didn't chase the flippers, and I've found that I tend to have a lot of issues with getting stuck when you don't have an easy way to get into the Dark World in more than one place, right? You kind of get, if you get the Mitts as your Dark World access, you get kind of locked with, oh, okay, well, I've come in Kakariko, and now I have to do everything in one loop, or I have to go all the way back around. So knowing that it was, I think, a reasonable possibility, as we weren't finding anything, I also was hoping, the other thing that I was kind of hoping to do was get to the point where I could, get the Catfish and Zora checks comboed a little bit, so I was putting that off. Which on the flip side is one of the checks that I like to do, mostly because like, this is a perfect example of like terrible reasoning. That was the check that made the difference on the qualifier that I did really well in. That was like, most people didn't do it and I did, and I was like, well, maybe everyone else seems to not like the fish, maybe he likes me, I don't know. So I figured I'd try and prioritize getting up there, which was nice to get the bow, but I did feel not great finding the hammer there and being like, well, that was around for a while. That's not ideal.
Yeah, I think one thing we were watching, and then you did all of pod, right? No bow, no hammer, and then literally next two checks, right? That you found were oh, hammer. We're just like
yeah. Yeah, I there was a little part of me, like, if this was like a ladder race or something, there was a little part of me that was like, I kind of want to just go back on like principle, but that would be really dumb. I'm not going to do it, but like I was really annoyed.
I could understand. I was annoyed for you as well.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah. No, it was, I think at its core, there were a couple of opportunities when I was doing some cleanup before going back into dungeons, before I went into ice, before I went into swamp, a few different times that I should have, and was thinking about Ice Rod Cave. It was just the way that I decided to do it. I was like, yeah, I'm basically just gonna isolate this, and since I'm isolating it, I'm just gonna pretend like it doesn't exist, and it did. And not to say, like, honestly, I'm not sure if that would have been enough to make a difference. Again, Scottish is really good. So, for all, it could just mean that I finished in GT instead of in Turtle Rock.
you know.
Like I was what, probably a good 10 minutes behind. Like I still had to do. Where was the big key? I don't even know. In GT.
13, 14. I don't know what that means though. It was somewhere in the, I think, rando room.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
it was 13, right? Because we had the GT Compass, which was the 13th chapter.
Torch.
Okay.
Torch. All right. Okay, we're 14.
Okay. Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I was probably at least minimum 10 minutes behind, probably more. Like, because in other words, it wasn't like, oh, you walk in, find it, and immediately start climbing.
And then our Mike's question, I was really curious about it too. Like, maybe I missed the answer, but like, I guess were you aware that like your Dark World access for both of you was sequence broken, so to speak, because the hookshot was behind that second chest in Hyrule Castle? Because straight up, I had no idea until someone said anything in chat too. So I was like, "What? Oh, that's a thing. Yeah, that's true." Because you had to get your Agina small key technically before you could even technically go to the Dark World.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that's like, I'm aware of it, but I did not pay attention to it. Like, I didn't care, basically.
Yeah, no, that's a fair explanation too.
Yeah, like when I found it, I actually thought, oh god, I could have actually, wasted time a bit by going to get that and then going in and going all the way through escape rather than just a quick glove check at the back. That was literally my first thought seeing it. But yeah, there's for like, I'm kind of aware of key logic, but for certain keys I don't bother. Like Meyer Smalls or one of those things, you know. I'm not going to go looking for 3 Meyer Smalls before I go Meyer. So Hyrule Castle kind of falls under the same thing. It's like, oh, the cool, it's there, that's nice, cool, I've already done that, so I don't care about you.
Also, really quick, Ak, because I heard you mention it as I was joining after we finished. The back of Escape, I just spaced out after doing Graveyard Ledge. I even was planning on doing it there, and then I just.
Oh, okay.
Spaced. You saw I went right back because I went right back for it afterwards. Actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So do you play with an item tracker or all that stuff, or a map
I do.
tracker?
Yeah. No. In fact, actually, there's the whole conversation going on in one of the discords. I was actually talking about it. I do. I just like literally. So the problem, what I was basically saying, it's not really in view. My setup, like where I'm facing, it's effectively like directly off my left shoulder. I use it mostly to just kind of try and keep track general, like, oh, that's right, I have blank.
Sure.
But this was more like I was literally planning the whole time to finish off by dropping down, and then I just forgot, which was smart.
That's all right, man. That happened. No big deal.
Yeah.
I think that's all of my questions. Climax, you have any other questions, or do you guys have anything else you'd like to say?
Thank you very much for having us and putting us on. Yeah, it's actually quite an honour to have you two come one of our races, and thanks, Mike. I suppose if you have to be thanked, you have to be thanked. But no, thank you very much for having us, and yeah, it was fantastic. Thank you just so much for having us on a restream.
Yeah, I'll just echo that. You know, Ak, Clear Mouse, and Mike. Also, just everyone kind of hanging out and watching. This is so much fun, and it's an honor. It's also, as I say, it's an honor and a privilege. Like, it really is. Like, it's a great time. So I'm really appreciative of everyone who helps put, and all the people who put this on behind the scenes too, right? All the admins who have to like corral all of us herding cats, etc. So we really, I think, it can't be said enough. I appreciate it.
Yep.
I can't speak for Ak, but I was personally very happy to be able to. Actually, Ak was the one who actually brought this race to my attention. I was like, oh my gosh, really? Like, I was really excited to do this race. So thank you so much for racing. It was really fun.
Yeah, the pleasure was all ours, man. I was excited. I wanted to watch.
Yeah.
And I wanted to watch and make everybody listen to me while I was watching. There's no better thing.
It's always a good time. Yeah. And of course, I also just want to echo, thank you very much, Mike. Again, tons of pressure I know I applied to get you, to be our tracker today. So very thankful and appreciative of you being here. And of course, Ak, thank you as always. And it's always a blast talking to you.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah, so with anything else, so in terms of just scheduling more rando, there is, I believe, a match going on right now, Nimban versus Jon Snow on ALTTPR Randomizer channel, coming up at 4:10 in, what, an hour? Yeah, roughly an hour from now. SpeedGaming 3 has Mughal versus Shady Force, and then at 7:25, it is Chimo versus Talon. And I think there's also maybe one more tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I mean, you know, the schedule has rando going on basically all the time. Feel free to check on it, and as long as you follow, you know, SpeedGaming channels, I'm sure you'll find a rando race at some point to watch. And yeah, so that's all for me. So until then, I guess everyone just have a good day. And best of luck, by the way, to you, PH, and to you, Scottish, to you know, in groups. Been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.